Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the official coverage of the RGL Invite Sixes playoffs. I'm Dolphin, and I will be this weekend's producer. So before... All right, chat. Please hold your applause. Just for 1 second. I'm excited to announce Man vs. 100 Mercs, a game show coming this February where one contestant competes against 100 Mercs, or the audience. The contestant will answer multiple choice questions, along with the audience. Members of the Mercs who do not get the correct answer are eliminated, and the prize pool goes up. Be sure to put your score predictions in chat during the playoffs because there will be 5 seats reserved for those who make the most accurate map score predictions over the span of the weekend. I don't have time to explain, but if you know the game 1 versus 100, it's kind of like that. Just Google that if you don't know what it is. That means if all 100 people are eliminated, you will win a grand prize of over 15,000 Taiwan dollars. That's a bit over 500 USD. It just sounded kind of cool to say 15,000, you know? Now let's get into playoffs.
Over the course of the past 3 or so months, 8 teams have fought tooth and nail, dying for their chance at reaching the grand finals, and 2 teams have been successful, but only one will be able to crown themselves as the champions of Season 13. My name is Jared. I'm here with Godfather to bring you guys Froyotech versus Witness Gaming. This is RGL Invite 6's Season 13 Grand Finals Playoffs Day 2, and as said before, one will be walking home with first, another second place in this BO5. One map advantage goes to Witness Gaming, but we've seen some climbs from the lower bracket beforehand, but I think if any of the Stage 2 or even the playoff BO3s are an indicator, this is definitely going to be one exciting match, and I would be surprised to see it not go the distance to all 4 maps being played here tonight.
Yeah, it's certainly going to be interesting. The pacing here tonight is something I'm going to be watching closely. Let's look at what we're playing on. Map number 1 is, of course, going to be Metalworks, which we saw go the way of Witness Gaming in their last matchup. Then Froyotech
And the one before.
And the one before. Good point. So a lot of momentum for Witness on Metalworks. Then we're going to Gully. Sprayy picks that. Product and Granary banned away. Sunshine picked up by Witness. Snake from Froyo if we need to go there. But, Jared, I think I'm on the same page as you. I don't know if this goes the distance.
It can be hard to tell. One thing that is immediately, as a side note, beyond these 2 teams in particular, I think after this this game, because there's no bracket resets like Highlander or anything, it's just the full BO5. Well, this was not really a Koth season when it came to like playoffs, was it? Like,
no, very little Koth.
It was banned away by most of the teams that were participating in the matches, so maybe just one of those seasons where, you know, not really gonna bank on it. Not even as I guess it had an occasional map 3, but really, I think in the previous seasons we saw a whole lot of it, but this season was a little bit different, kind of interesting. But nonetheless, got a lot of maps to go through here in terms of the picks and the bans. Honestly, I mean, at this point, it's a little bit different compared to Stage 2 when it comes to playoff bans, because at least then you can kind of like scrim a map a little bit and know you'll be refined on it. But grand finals is always like there's a method to your madness. You have some idea of what you're going to want to do. Like, for example, Witness Gaming, they've picked Metalworks over and over again because they keep winning on it. But I think I had an offline interview with Caps after the game yesterday, and he kind of said they were just gonna pick whatever they felt like in the moment. So for the side of the Witness Gaming bans, on one hand they ban Process, on the other hand they pick Sunshine, the sister maps. So I mean, it's just kind of whatever you're feeling down for. The side of Granary, though, I guess it kind of makes sense. They get rid of Bagel. Historically, they haven't been that amazing on it. They've played a decent amount of Gullywash this season, and Granary, I mean, is one of those maps where if you haven't played it in ages, it's really important to have a refresher on it because it's a 7 CP, so it can be really hard to, break through a lot of the holds that teams can put up against you, and can be a lot of round resets, which I don't think Froyotech are really hoping for. The way they played the entire bracket has been pretty fast-paced, and I don't think I've seen them, maybe once, if that, try to go for like, yeah, we'll just chill and do like a round reset, go to another mid. So far, they've been playing, they put the pedal to the metal no matter who their opponent is, so it makes sense that they get rid of that out of the pool. And then, only so many maps left as the Sunshine and Snakewater pick comes out. What's the map that doesn't get touched whatsoever? Out of curiosity, and do some mental math here. Sultry. Sultry's not here. The final. I'm surprised in a way. There's a part of me that's a little surprised that Froyotech didn't pick Sultry, but a lot of these is like, I've said it before, it's like the devil you know versus the devil you don't. It's the same reason why Froyotech doesn't pick Metalworks, or doesn't ban Metalworks, and they ban Bagel instead, because at least they know what they're up against. Plentiful amounts when it comes to Metalworks. They've already had 2 matches on it versus Witness Gaming, and they just had a match recently, an hour ago, versus the Darkest Nights. And maybe, you know, on the other side of the coin, it's like, you know, sometimes the devil you know is a little bit too scary. You know, they had this Ultra game that they recently played. They know what they're up against, but maybe they don't have a, you know, solution for it in their mind. So it would just kind of be beating their head up against a brick wall if they picked it. So decided to just leave it to the wayside and pick Snake as the final map instead. But who knows? I mean, I'd like to see Snake as a map. On the other hand, you know, the teams are probably going to want to win in a much quicker fashion than to have it go all the way to the last map. So maybe we won't get that, but only time will tell. But those are the 4. Metal Gully, Sunshine, Snake.
Yeah, 4 fun maps here tonight, and Dolphin, before we go any further, we were talking earlier about the merch. Let's show it one more time while we got people here. Because this is going away soon, isn't it, Jarrett?
Yep, only got a week or 2 more left to go, considering, I mean, it's not going to disappear immediately, but, you know, considering that, you know, it's only a week or more until the lower divisions are done with their season, and all of a sudden, you know, it's going to go ahead and go through the rotation. All the teams are going to shuffle around. The general merch, you know, new designs will come in and some will get retired. So if there's anything you've been keeping your eye on when it comes to the general merch or the team merch at shop.rgl.gg, you know, you've got limited time available, so definitely check it out if you so desire. But I think we're still waiting for info, right? We're still waiting for.
No, it's working now. We got 9 in server. Yeah.
Nice. Okay.
Something we can do though is take a look at rosters. I'll wait for those to get up on screen, but a lot of players we've seen plenty of recently, and a Froyotech roster that is kind of interesting. And for people who haven't been watching until Grands, they'll be surprised to see players like Habib coming up on Scout, Benny back to demo for the first time in a long time. So yeah, it's Habib, Eric, Mirror, Donovan, Benny, and Jimmy on the Froyotech side. Witness Gaming is running Logan in bot mode. Remina, aka Fruit, and Quacks, Cap on demo, and Hubbard Ahmed. As Froyotech has set their team name, they're getting ready to go. They've got 6, just waiting on Witness here.
Yep. Just do note with the rosters that Brand Slam was subbing in for Logan yesterday, but Logan has returned. He's here to play the finals, and we'll see what ends up happening. No substitutes here, so excited to see that it's going to be a grand finals with both teams having their full squad.
Now, is that an upgrade or a downgrade or a side grade?
I mean, considering they played with Logan pretty much the entire season, I mean, Brand Slam as the sub was main class on Scout, and Logan's technically an off class, but there's a certain amount of synergy that you know kind of build up. And considering you don't have time to really grind out like these maps in scrims or anything, you know, you played one day, now you're playing the next. You know, you can't really make sure everything's tip-top pristine, so having past experiences on getting used to what your teammates are like and what they like to do, et cetera, from the whole season is definitely, it can't be understated. It's definitely pretty important. So I'm sure they're happy that everyone's all, you know, they got their original squad back.
Oh, absolutely. It's good for the mental. While we continue talking in pregame, chat, make sure you are spending your channel points. It is Grands after all, so your last chance to bet for a while and plenty in the pool. So spend those. Jarrett, who are you looking for tonight, especially on Metalworks, to really pop off and lead their team?
Well, so far when it comes to Froyotech finding a whole lot of success, it's been the Mirror Man train. I don't think it's been very much different. I mean, sometimes it's a combination of the Froyotech soldiers combined, but when it comes to like who's the person that gets it done, makes the play, and besides like a stable general good play aspect, it would definitely be him. So my eyes are definitely on him for the night. For the side of Witness Gaming, I mean, it's really hard to pick one, because I feel like, and it makes sense to like kind of go even around with a couple of the different Witness Gaming members because they found themselves in first seed and, you know, they won the last BO3. But bot mode has been like kind of the rock for their team and keeps them really grounded and makes them pretty stable even throughout a lot of chaotic moments. I think he's been handling it really well. Quacks is on the up and up. You know, he's steadily improved and climbed throughout the seasons, and even in the grand finals, he's quickly proven that he has what it takes to be a grand finals level player. And he's also doing some of the salvaging as well, and doing a lot of plays for his team. But then there's also, I think, Habita's survivability cannot be understated, because I think there's a medic doing their job, and there's a medic that's doing their job when they're actually being tested, because there's a difference in the gameplay and whether or not, you know, it's a role or not. But then I feel like Habita kind of goes the extra mile. Like, there's some situations where I feel like you look at him from bird's eye view, you see the situation he's put in, and then he somehow gets out of it being a bad situation when you would assume it would be one. Which, you know, little moments like that, an Uber that probably should have been forced that wasn't, or, you know, a really heads-up play to save people, or not save people, rather, could make or break some of these rounds. And considering how close these teams have been in their previous VO3s, I mean, we've had, I think, 3 BO3s already, because there were 2 in Stage 2, and the one yesterday, everything's been so even when it comes to, like, taking and trading map, and the score lines through plenty of the maps as well. So little things like that are really important. So I honestly feel like picking any of those players as kind of the star players are the ones to keep your eye on for the side of Witness Gaming would be pretty important. But, you know, it's kind of just like a take your pick moment, you know, you could even go further. But predictions, time to go ahead and take a peek at what we think the scores might be. Seems like the chat is a little bit more Witness Gaming favorite, at least for now, for Metalworks in particular. And in a way, it kind of makes sense, because, you know, Froyotech, they had an opportunity to learn from their Metalworks mistakes, and they learned a little bit. It was a much closer game the second time they played it, but was not enough to take it away at the end of the day. So now it's kind of a guesstimation of, do you think that after learning even more that they can finally swing things around and win? Or is there eventually reaching a point where something fundamentally is wrong? You can't just fix it in a day. It's going to take much longer, and that's time that Froyotech does not have, and Witness Gaming would keep the train rolling. So what are your thoughts, Godfather?
I think it's we got the in-game announcement, so gonna see a whole lot of new faces. We'll have to re-intro for them, but I think the fundamental flaw in Froyotech right now is that Jimmy just keeps dying, and it is too easy to go in and kill Froyotech's med. The difference in med deaths has been astounding in the logs between Froyo and Witness over the past couple of matchups we've seen between the two of them, and I mean, I think that's just an issue that Froyotech's not going to be able to overcome, at least on map 1 on Metalworks here. Hopefully they'll be able to figure things out as the night goes on, but that's my take.
I will honestly say, it feels like the first time we saw them play Metalworks, it was kind of like a Metalworks issue, kind of. I mean, stuff that would happen that if it was a different map, it wouldn't necessarily be a carbon copy. And they did a good job at fixing it, at least in my opinion. But the second time they played Metalworks, it was a much closer game. I feel like they fixed a decent amount of their issues. One of them, I think the biggest one that was easy for viewers to spot, was Bandy kept dying in a lot of the mid-fights, and it was one of those situations where the Metalworks mid-fights didn't really get to happen traditionally, because, you know, if someone on your team is dead before you have the rest of your entire team there finishing the rollout. But even though they fixed that, I feel like there were some other issues there that maybe weren't necessarily map-related. And that can be a scary thought, because usually a lot of those issues, you know, aren't so simple as, like, talking. I mean, sometimes it can be simple, like talking about it and stuff, but they're more ingrained. You can't really ignore them. They can kind of transcend between maps. One of them is, you know, sometimes Jimmy drops a bit. He's playing a bit risky. He might have to play a bit safer just for the sake of making sure that he can keep himself alive. But there's been a small amount of disjointedness, I think, from the Froyotech combo. I feel like a lot of the times Habib is not on beam in situations where he probably could be. And it is punishing him a lot because of the way that Caps is playing, because Caps in particular is playing extremely aggressive on Demo Man, and catching out the combo very heavily, and there's no scout on the combo to just, like, meat shot the Dome in his face. But these problems, this critique that I'm giving Froyotech, well, one, obviously, WG isn't without critique. I'm just not going too hard on them because they are in a favorable position. But these problems that they're facing right now for the side of Froyotech aren't necessarily things that, you know, oh, woe is them, like, you know, they can't fix it. They can fix it. There's opportunities. I mean, it may not happen right off the bat. It may take a sec, but it's definitely in the cards. And who knows, maybe this is the ticket. Maybe they just needed to get thrashed around on Metalworks a decent amount of times to get the ball rolling. They had a showing against Darkest Nights earlier in the game, or early in the day, and had a pretty decent, relatively one-sided game against them. Reached 5 points, 5-1, I think, was the score line. But, you know, sometimes, you know, different team, things kind of shake out differently, so you can't necessarily think that everything's going to be sunshine and rainbows just because you beat the Darkest Nights on that map. So I guess we'll have to see how things end up rolling out here. Well, I guess in the back of my mind, I'm also a little bit curious for the side of Witness Gaming because they haven't needed to change too much from their Metalworks gameplay, and now with 2 recent Metalworks wins in their back pocket, I don't even know if I'd expect much change at all. If anything, we're going to be kind of looking at Froyotech here and how they begin to shift over time, but not too much longer. We have to wait as we are now live on the first map of this BO5 between Froyotech and Witness Gaming. The winner of this will move on with, well, I guess it depends on the one map advantage deal, but at the end of the BO5 series, we'll have a champion crown, but first, we must begin with the very first mid.
Yep, the longest rollout in the map pool has been finished. Donovan is very, very far in. He's gone behind on this mid fight. We'll see how Froyotech is able to play around this. Witness Gaming has to keep an eye out for Donovan, who gets the first kill. And now pressure onto the medic. Search away, but it's not enough. Hamada instead to Habib picking up the scout frag. Jimmy also going to go down as Fruit finds that kill. And Froyotech winning this mid pretty cleanly, except for that med death, as they pick up Cap pretty late.
Yeah, the positioning from the side of Froyotech was really good. They did an excellent job for the most part of making sure that they didn't have to give up too much HP to actually have a decent amount of presence. I mean, Caps was kind of aggressive to kind of thwart them, but you know, he wasn't able to do too much there. And the flank wrapping around to kill Hubada was enough to really seal the deal early on. They did lose Jimmy. WG were able to salvage, but you know, not quite enough. Is man, gonna die. Was really aggressive. Will get picked off. They're trying to push this onto two because they know that Jimmy's rolling out. Quacks. He's 11 HP. He backs up to the pack, but no one's getting beamed right now. WG still have at least a little bit of room, and even though Jimmy returns, he's only at half HP, but Eric flank behind. He just Eric wins. Eric wins. They didn't have the entire flank.
Oh, the back happens. It's yeah.
Yeah. Even though they lost Mirror Man, it gave WG maybe a bit too much confidence. Quacks went in straight up. I mean, they had the other soldier of Fruit going over to the side to make sure that the point was covered. But I'm pretty sure it was probably the ramp area, that side of lobby, that Eric just kind of ran through and just get the back cap going. So getting that second cap was pretty sneaky and actually works out in Froyotech's favor. So it's going to be a very quick round in their favor, and we're on to mid number 2.
Probably the fastest round we've seen between these two teams on this map. As Donovan is immediately obliterated. Cap is going to pick up a kill, but Witness Gaming finds one. Yeah, and that's going to be the mid fight. Mirrorman getting pressured as he backs away, and Witness Gaming right back in this fight.
Yep, that's how it goes sometimes when you go as a soldier fast onto a demo man on a map. Sometimes you kind of win or lose your team to mid depending on how you perform, and Caps is able to overall win the 1v1. So soldier down means Fruit on the move, drawing in Eric, some space created. Mirrorman kind of keeping it at bay though in the alley side, and Fruit will eventually fall, so that's going to be their sack, leaving the alley side area, and Froyotech kind of on the move. Actually, Mirrorman's a bit weak, so he can't really sack. They're going to full commit through the house side, and they find Caps alone.
Wow.
His team was over by the ramp, and he was kind of inside house. That's going to be a Daleman death that Froyotech are definitely going to want to use. They do have an Uber to use, and if they so desire, but already being down 2 means they do not want to touch this with a 10-foot pole. Back to their own second to go. Play it safe, but Froyotech, they did block Caps' spawn, so even though there is an Uber that I wouldn't be too surprised to see WG go ahead and willingly use it at some point, there is, you know, room for them to move around on Froyotech. No stickies, Caps is barely there. When he arrives, he's not buffed, and they're already on the move, jumping with both soldiers.
Yeah, Froyotech wasting no time getting in here, and Mirrorman's gonna die, but Eric is on Hubada and getting the force. Is really great to see for Froyotech fans. Logan's going to try to come up here, but the Uber's going to be popped right onto him. Habib finding that kill. And Witness Gaming, very weak players here, but they will have slight add on their own last. In, try to maybe flank here a little bit. They're going to be collapsing right on, but they waste a rocket and they miss onto Jimmy. And it's no frags.
Though, but it's going to be Caps one that falls. Caps wants Jimmy so bad, but isn't going to be able to find it. 3 left alive. They're trying to bomb in, trying to get any frag they can, but Logan will end up giving his life. And Froyo, you know, they clawed their way through. It took a bit. It was a bit scary at the beginning when they went in and took that Uber. It looked like they were in a kind of awkward position. 2 soldiers were behind. They were stuck inside deep in the lobby, but you know, they come away with the dub. Maybe a small misplace here and there from the side of WG on their soldiers not really doing too much while they're behind, or in the initiation it wasn't enough to collapse. But you know, new round, new you, but Froyotech are, you know, they're riding high right now, 2-0. We're on to our 3rd mid of the game.
Yeah, they gotta be feeling pretty good, turning things around here. A map they've struggled against Witness on so much. Habib taking a little bit of space, Donovan up top, gonna pressure Fruit on the flank as Froyotech keeps the space. Banny is pretty weak, he gets an arrow mirror up in the air, it's just a fake. He and Donovan gonna regroup together. Fairly good damage coming out of Witness Gaming, kind of boxing Froyo into a corner. Donovan's gonna jump forward, he's gonna eat a lot of damage and will go down. Habib also falling, and this is gonna be a 1 mid for Witness. Jimmy, so close to death there, but he will get out alive and keep his Uber in hand.
The spam from the side of WG was so good there. I felt like there wasn't as much, like nearly as much presence from the side of Froyotech on the point as it was previously. Bandy just got completely bullied. He had to take all the heals, and now he finds himself in a situation where he might have to be the sacrificial lamb. No, he does indeed escape, but Fruit finds the opening, is able to get the Forcer running down the bridge. Bot mode will be the one that gives up their life for it, as they won't really find too much there. But an Uber for 2. Honestly, an Uber for 2, you wouldn't be too mad at it if you weren't playing on Metalworks on your own second. This long walk here, you could get cut off through house extremely easily, even just sliding through Z. So despite, get 2 frags on another map, maybe like Process, you'd be like, sure, let's poke. Froyotech, nonetheless, 100% they'd be making moves to see if they could try to get a force or something while they had the player advantage. But the way this map is kind of shakes out, it's really hard to do that, and they recognize that they can't actually use that. So WG doing a pretty good job abusing that and going over towards the alley side with 5 members. Logan's going to be able to play near underpass, but Soldiers bombing in for fakes. Mirrorman just buying some room for Donovan to go ahead and commit. The Uber will eventually come out, and Bot Mode will die. 3 behind from the side of Froyotech. They're gonna be able to get Habib with the Uber, but Hubba finds himself alone. Source one of the rocket, but there's 2 soldiers. Gets air shot from the side of Donovan, and there's very few remaining from the side of either team, as Cap's really weak. Has to be careful. Trying to still push down the bridge with his scout. Logan trying to make some space, but Benny will be able to stick Caps down, and with Beam available on the side of Froyotech, full Uber at that. WG, I mean, they don't have much in the tank here. Quacks, we've seen him use this spot before. Will it be successful? Hey, they've used it before against Froyo. Mirrorman has some PTSD, checks it. Habib types don't, and that is going to be a play that's unsuccessful as WG losing mid. Froyotech take it for free with their Uber still intact, and probably going to block Caps, Quacks' spawn, and actually maybe even try to use without using? No, they're going to use straight through bridge. You don't want this.
Kind of a complete turnaround compared to what we've seen on this map so far, with Witness Gaming really on the back foot and Hubba dying frequently. Fruit's going to go down here as Froyotech uses in. It's going to be 70% in hand for Witness, but they're back to their last, and we'll see Logan coming up on heavy here for the defense. Fruit with a respawn timer, but Froyotech probably won't be going in here, at least for sacks maybe in a second.
It's a large ad on the side of WG. It's usable, but will they? Logan's going back to spawn. Looks like they were just setting up and getting ready for potential Froyotech dry after getting that pick. But they were making some moves in lobby. Bot mode's a bit weak. Gotta be careful. Has Quacks there to bail him out as Froyotech are eating some damage. Eric has to back up, needs an arrow, and will take it. But Hubba's the one that you should be concerned about. He actually gets forced inside lobby. Mirrorman taking the initiative, going indoors to get this force, and is very much successful. So this Uber doesn't have enough room to actually chase anyone down on the side of Froyotech. They have one person down, the Uber almost available. It's going to be really hard for them to block it, but it is technically possible. Cap trying to hold down the fort, sticking things out. It is going to be able to buy time for the Cap, but Uber available. Mirrorman respawn. The flank is a bit weak, and I think Fruit knows that, so they are going to go behind and could be a thorn in their side. To rotate over. It is spotted, and they are going to bring back 3 to make sure that Fruit eventually dies, but how successful will they be? Meanwhile, the rest of the team getting in lobby, trying to cap things up, chasing down Fruit, actually buying a decent amount of room, making it hard for them to just leave one in cap. And honestly, this play, even if Fruit just dies here, I mean, they're 3 HP. They get the pack. They're still surviving. This bought time for Hubba to get his Uber. The Uber comes out, but they're going to just respond in kind when they feel like it. Biding their time. Bot mode calls for the use. They're going towards the demo man. They get Mirrorman. Can they get Benny? He is going to get piped down. Fruit guys in the back line. Bombing in, trying to get a frag, but will not succeed there. So overall, honestly, really good play for Fruit to kill time. Froyotech, unaware of how much time that was actually bought to just surprise Red Team has Uber, and now surprise Red Team has reclaimed their own 2.
Yeah, and Red Team pressuring forward a bit here. Froyotech has some spawners, so it'll be completely even, and we'll have a 2-3 stalemate, 2 to mid stalemate, whatever you want to call it. But I feel like Witness Gaming has finally found a little bit of footing here after getting kind of rolled through the first mid and the first round, going in, what, like a minute and a half. Second round takes just a little bit longer. Froyotech's creeping forward here through underneath. Witness Gaming coming close to that Uber, but Things gotta stabilize here, Jarrett.
Yeah, honestly, in a way, you should kind of expect Froyotech to have the amount of success they have now. Considering, if you look at their past, they have so much they could look back on things that they could try to do differently, or even ways to maybe potentially hard counter some of the things that WG bring to the table. That would honestly be a bit disappointing if they didn't have a head start here on Metalworks, but just a fake. Mirman will be the one committing. Tries to find Caps, who wasn't being beamed. Eats an arrow, is fine, and they're actually going to give up both soldiers for it. But fast move from Quacks. So much damage on Jimmy. Does indeed use drop to 15 HP. Chasing down bot mode, but surprise, we're here, and now they're going to get their own treatment of the Froyotech special as the Uber. No, never mind. They don't even pop into them to chase them down. Hubba's like, nah, it's okay. I won't use here.
Like, traps.
Yeah, is gonna be able to jump away. So that's a good example of where I feel like a normal situation, plenty of medics have just been like, oh, they're still caught, let's just use it and kill them. But Hubba's like, no, I don't think so. And now they don't even have to deal with a small ad, it's a huge ad. Eric's gonna be able to bail them out. There is no demo man, and now they are kind of pigeonholed to if they want to use this right now, they have to go through bridge without a demo. And that's pretty much telegraphed, and like everyone in the server knows that's the deal. If an Uber comes through or push happens right now, it's in-house with pop through, and so because it's so obvious, they just opt to do nothing. They know it'd be garbage. They're just sitting and waiting. They have to wait for Caps to get here and find an alternative. At least, even if they do go down the bridge, at least get your demo man here. So when the post happens, he can actually lock outdoors. I mean, the Uber ad was big enough where you can afford to wait for him. And definitely shows here as he's finally here and they still have a 40 ad to work with. Be mindful of the sniper still on the field. Was not taken down in any aspect, but Donovan will die to fall damage and Fruit will be able to escape. So overall, one pick.
Fruit doesn't escape. Eric hits the body shot.
Oh, neither will Banny. He's caught in a corner. Doesn't have the Uber to bail him out. He's going to go down and beat the pack, but it's not going to be enough. Logan will surely take him out, and if not him, then someone else. It's taking a bit to find time, but that bought time for Eric to ring off another shot into Quack. So overall, for your scenario, Froyo in a way have an incentive to potentially poke around, but with Mirman taking so much damage, it's going to be kind of hard. They do have a respawn advantage, but they have a sniper, they have a weak soldier. Now they have a weak combo scout.
Eric,
WG, they're going to bite off more than they can shoot. Caps is going to die, and that's going to be pretty big. Still a reason to poke around. You don't have the respawn advantage anymore, but no down man is pretty huge, and they're already in position. Soldier makes space, but Donovan will just find himself in an early grave. Just mind this sniper sight line.
And they're pressuring on the flank.
But they ignore the sniper side. They go to the other side of the lobby, get a lot of damage, but unsuccessful getting a kill there. Honestly, good attempt, but no dice.
No dice is right. Really good rotation away from the sniper sight line there. Eric is now going to reposition on last. Look right across bridge at Logan. They now know where that sniper is. No off classes for the side of Witness Gaming as they continue to try to work their way forward. Fruit gets a be pretty weak, but will end up going down. Bot mode now dueling Mirror Man, and they will trade. So two-man sack completed, and Froyotech peeking forward here.
I don't think Quack's intended to die, and neither did Logan. I mean, they get the trap kill, but this is a demo and a medic alone versus 4. This is not a pretty situation. Hubba is going to have to pop. I mean, nice. You get a force with a demo man Uber. Caps is certainly dead though, and Hubba barely escapes, surfs the rocket out, has people there, and Caps is still behind, kind of. Gets a pipe onto Eric, but that's about it, so unsuccessful at doing much more there. But no demo man, it means gotta give up the point. Lost all your positioning too. And honestly, Froyotech can just dry off this. Bandy's already on the floor. He wants to start pushing through lower, but WG, I think they have a play of their own. They're sitting inside the house, kind of. They want to see if they can kill Mirror Man or something, but
now the rotation coming in. Donovan bombing. Great pressure from Donovan, making some space, drawing players away as Froyotech floods forward, going underneath. Mostly Botmon is dead. To Banny, now Fruit pressured. Quacks in the corner. He's going to land onto Timmy. One more rocket will do it, but he doesn't have it in him. Logan looking for the salvage, but it's not going to be enough for Logan. And Jimmy backs off to the pack. It doesn't work out for Witness, and they will be at 30 disad and player disad as well. Back to their second, maybe all the way out to last.
It looked like they were sitting outside the enemy team house to try to go for a flank play. Like they didn't want to do a traditional, like, let's hold 5v6 without having a demo. So they were going to go for some sort of play, but didn't really work out. Eric came through backdoor and kind of, you know, made any plans of finding a 1v or 2v1 versus Mirrorman to be nigh. So had to very quickly shift around on the point the last second, and was a little bit awkward. Man, what little spam they did have as a tool was unable to be used on Froyotech, who were walking up the valley side. So pretty easy to lose there if you don't have a demo man and you don't have traditional soldier spam down the valley either. So definitely makes sense that Froyotech are able to take that and find themselves in a position with full Uber, trying to break this stalemate. Banny, he's been poking underpass lately. He did it in the previous match that they played on Metalworks with Starkest Knights, and it wasn't the ticket they used to get the force per se, but it is definitely a distraction that WG are gonna have to keep some focus on. But leaving that strategy to the wayside for now as they move over towards the alleyway. Mirrorman getting some space, not committing really. I mean, he jumped on top of the box, but jumped out, yeah, just buying time. Once
now
again,
back in.
yeah, keeping eyes
he eats
open.
way more damage this time around, and he's gonna go down
The
to
air
Cap's
sticky.
damage. The air sticky is right. And Witness is dealing with Donovan over on the flank as well. Banny rotating here. So Witness can walk forward a bit. They're gonna go drop down. Quacks and Fruit both really weak. Donovan up and Batman on this midpoint.
Yeah, the
And,
soldiers are too weak. They can't do anything here. I like how Donovan's up and on the high ground, ready to high bomb if they overextended
Right
just a
into
tad.
Batman.
Yeah, but does not need to push or do anything drastic because WG not really the healthiest after all that happened on their own too. So sometimes that's the way of the road. You know, you want to go for a counter stack, but no one's really buffed up enough to do it. So your soldiers just kind of collect packs in the time the respawners come in and end up not really doing anything. So at least Froyotech have that to work with, so they don't have to deal with the counter stacks. But Mirrorman gonna commit first try, but immediately thwarted by the side of bot mode. Getting the kill for that one is WG on the move. Mind the traps! Mind the traps! They do debt. It's on Quack, so he eats most of it. So gonna be one soldier that's gonna be eating a lot of it. Yeah, they heal up Quack, which means that Caps doesn't have beam, and now they're chasing down Fruit at least a little bit. So no soldiers are gonna be really available to try to put the hurt onto him. Quack is kind of there, but he's already really weak. So explosives are not really on the field in the way that WG wants them to, but it doesn't matter. Quack's used what little damage he has to cause a distraction, live throughout it all, and help to get the kill on the bot mode, but he will eventually give up his life. Donovan getting a trade overall as bot mode spinning around in circles, doesn't need to get the force exchange, comes out, moves over to Banny, will die though. Eric turn around to collect that frag as overall it is a 4v4 scenario with honestly a better respawner advantage for this side of WG as this is in their own territory. But Froyotech are still going to try to fight this. Mirrorman has arrived on the bridge, trying to spam them down. Jimmy's taken a lot of damage though, can only commit so far, and WG I think they recognize this. Mirrorman climbing up though, he's going to be able to find him. He's dead! He's just lurking on the floor of this man. I swear he's actually playing Spy despite being on Soldier. And now they're starting to crumble. Fruit is out in the thick of it. Will eventually die to the rocket from the side of Donovan. There's only two left alive, and Quacks and Bot Mode are running away. I mean, Bot Mode's hiding in a corner, kind of expecting this drive push to come in, not even going for an off class, and he will indeed be correct as they've found themselves in. Quacks, he's called it, but Bombo's got to find the timing though. No Uber available, but they have to be able to get to this point very soon. It's going to get capped up on the second side. Respawners coming in, north of the high ground. Quacks going to be the first to fall from an arrow from Jibby, so no swords available from the side of the red team. As blue team is getting the cap time, bringing Logan over. No one able to jump forward, but Eric extremely weak, down to 6 HP. Ben's going to fall alive? Mirrorman's just running away with the skill stick. He's able to get the arrow on the other side of the sheet metal, and WG still holding on. 4v4, and Froyotech realizing that it's only going to get harder. And if they continue to fight, just gonna go ahead and make sure they get their Uber first. Rotate to a different door. Gun going up, but they don't really have time. Oh, never mind. Okay, they do have time. So many died from the side of Froyotech. I forgot how much a respawn wave they were waiting for. That yeah, they can't immediately go, but you know, once again, how about getting very close? Red team's gonna get Uber in the middle of this push. Not immediately, but they're going in. First target, the gun. Able to take it down with stickies, getting the corner cap action on. Both holders drawn over. Bot Mode melting immediately. Same reset for Quacks. The Uber rings out from the side of WG. Able to tap to Mirrorman for a 5v5 scenario, but so many weak players on both sides. Both Froyotech scouts are in the red, able to get a couple frags on the side of Eric, taking down both WG soldiers, and now it's a player advantage for the side of Froyotech and Bandy. He wants to go in. Donovan leading the charge, getting Logan back up. Nice pipe from the side of Cap to take down B, but Logan will end up dying as well. Red HP needs an arrow, desperately will eat it, but will eventually die from bot mode respawning and running out of now. Jimmy has to get the heck out of dodge. Mirrorman there on the bridge to defend at least a little bit, but WG hot on their tails around the corner. Escaped for now, but with a late demo man death, WG going to be holding on to second pretty strongly here as they've clawed their way out of last and found themselves back on their two.
Chat and I both cannot believe Witness held that, you know, down to threads there on the defense, but they hold multiple times, and now back out onto their second in an even situation, kind of looking to take this fight. It looks like both teams playing very close to this doorway, and it is going to be an Uber in. Good pressure onto Jimmy.
It's a family Uber inside the bridge area. Botmo's going to die to a pipe. How about a send to the stratosphere as this post is not what they needed to be. They took this Uber. They were so ambitious, and Fruit has to salvage. Rock on Jimmy, but it's not enough. I mean, I think they thought there were way more Froyotech members than there actually were there in that hallway, and they are going to pay dearly for it.
Wow.
This isn't even a defense. This is a fragment of a team. They get a consolation frag on Donovan, but that'll probably be all that they get. I mean, okay, Botmo gets a kill on Habib, but that's going to be it. As Froyotech honestly, genuine opinion, they get a bit of a gimme there. WG
Yeah.
really put all their eggs in one basket, and it did not pay off. So, round loss for them, and Froyotech looking pretty strong on Metalworks. Gonna be a first in the past week that this has happened, but there's still some room, still some time, but it'll all kick off with a 4th mid-fight here.
I always say don't bet against Froyotech on, or in playoffs, and, well, I may have done that here on map 1, and I'm certainly, regretting my bet now. We're in on mid number 4. Froyo up 3-0, map number 1. Donovan taking some space up top. Will have to jump away. Logan was very weak. Must have eaten a pipe. Habib, though, the first to die. Mirrorman also weak. Bot mode trades out on the other side. And bomb from Donovan. He has to get out of there. But now the scout's walking forward. Bandy gets good damage. And it's all falling apart for Witness. But Froyotech very weak as well. Witness will run out. And that is another mid-fight win for Froyotech, Jarrett.
Yeah, tail end of things, the focus fire was not very much there for the side of WG, at least the way they wanted it to. I think Fruit bombed in with a particular target, and then someone body blocked. They weren't able to get on the target they wanted to, and it just meant that Froyotech had everyone alive, but 4 people red HP. They're trying to put the pedal to the metal now. Overall, a soldier trade. Banny on the floor, same with the side of Caps. As bot mode tries to run forward, but it immediately gets melted by the side of Erica with 2 down. This is looking like dire straits. They've taken so much damage getting back under the shutter, and Hubada, he eats the pill, is fine. Eric tried to get a force in, was unsuccessful. But overall, 4v4 scenario means there's, they can poke around, but looking like, nah, there's already too much cap time, too much positioning. You would have to give up so much, probably pop first, it would not end up good. And we saw what happened last time the WG took a very ambitious Uber exchange, and it led them to a round loss. So just gonna go ahead, go back to last. Got the gun and the heavy on the field right now, so Froyotech. Actually, going to the Eric Sniper, it's interesting. So far, at least for a large amount of matches versus non-WG, they haven't really gone for off classes when it comes to trying to break these stalemates. They've just gone cookie cutter. It's fine. We'll just double spam stuff. We'll have our scout on the field to run and get kills, etc., etc. But no, first time we go to a last stalemate, Eric's immediately whipping out the sniper, seeing if that's going to be the answer to break the WG hold.
Yeah, but now Froyotech can be relying on him heavily with so much less damage unless he's finding these picks. He's definitely spotted there by the soldier. Eats a lot of damage, has to rotate away here, and it's going to be peeking shutter door. You can see Hubada playing very safe against the medic, or against the sniper rather, up against this wall. And wow, Eric with the shutter door opening gets Fruit, and that's an opening pick for Froyo.
Yep, now they're just trying to work their way through this left-hand side from the defender's perspective. They gotta still get the gun though, is the big thing. There's a pyro on the field now in the form of Logan, who is gonna be able to do at least a little bit of air blasting. So it's gonna be a thorn on their side to actually stamp it down, but oh, bomb coming in. Damage on the Hubada, but
He
gets
lives?
reflected. Wow. He gets reflected, he gets pushed back by the gun, but enough to keep him in a safe spot, and yeah, they're still trying to spam on this gun. Oh, round 2? No, immediately thwarted. Not be able to find too much there. As Banny actually plays with fire, it does indeed die to the sword shot from Logan. He took the brunt of the damage from the gun, and Logan was able to seal the deal. And an extra kill on the Eric Sniper, unable to have the mobility to run away, means that Froyotech, they're down 3 for that sack. Can't really hold 2 at all. They even had the Pyro run out. Logan is out on second as Pyro, and actually, as soon as he realizes that he's not needed here at all, just goes ahead and runs back to spawn. But Froyotech, they have their squad here. They have Donovan kind of hiding near the alley area in case they decided to push underpass, but not really an incentive to push, considering it is even Ubers. Logan checking on Spy to see if there's any off classes on the field. He hasn't walked out on it to commit, and after checking, seeing it's all cookie cutter, no spies, no snipers that Froyotech is fielding, Sock's back to scout, running back to his team, and now Froyotech, now things have definitely, definitively evened out. They are back in the driver's seat once again, owning mid, trying to find a way to break into Witness Gaming's second.
Yeah, expecting to see some sacks here coming through. Soldiers, Donovan's going to be going forward. Onto Fruit here, taking the 1v1. Getting great damage, but Fruit will clutch it out. 28 HP. And that's just a solo soldier bomb. And
Rushing
wow,
for
Witness
underpass.
is
Oh my
walking
God.
forward off this. And now the Uber is going to be used out. This is so much better for Witness. They milk it back. And it is full ad and a player ad for Witness, Jarrett.
Yeah, Caps was so fast to go underpass that he actually caught Jimmy with 2 stickies, popped him up into the skybox that Jimmy had to use as a threat of like dying to fall damage or spam, like more stickies on the floor. But this Uber comes out, Caps trying to chase down Eric, not successful at killing him yet, and this Uber's actually not going to be able to kill anyone at all. Actually, Habib kind of aggressive, trying to escape out the back door, Quack's trying to put a rocket on him, but will not connect. So, I mean, they got a lot of space with that. But both teams using the Uber for not much to write home about. So at the end of the day, Froyotech end up in a leapfrog scenario with Ad once again breaking out of their own 2. They're predominantly inside house, and it is at least a little bit spotted now by the side of Fruit as Quacks was thinking about maybe going behind, will decide against it after seeing the flank from Froyotech coming in hot. And WG doesn't look like they have much in the tank here because of the positioning of their soldiers to actually go for the force. Fruit will get chased down by both of them though, and now they definitely don't have enough here, but it doesn't matter. They're just going straight through the bridge, might be able to find Quacks. They're inside the right-hand side of the lobby now. They're all leaving the same shutter, but somehow they're all alive, at least for now. Habib is running straight through.
So much
if they get
damage.
the caps, they are so weak. They have to reset bot mode. So weak, will be fine for now. Overall, they got 2 explosive classes for that, and that's going to mean that WG does not have enough on the field to realistically have an honest attempt at blocking 2. So they do have an ad to work with, but they have to claw their way back out of their last once again as Froyotech. They have plenty of time to set up their entire squads here. Got the traps on the left-hand side of lobby and the right. Vanny has the traps everywhere. You can't watch the right ones really, but they're there technically. But, oh, okay. For anyone that's not used to watching WG, Logan's on, he's on engineer. He's building a gun. They have this huge ad, but they would much rather, instead of leapfrogging back and forth between last and second, they'd much rather just sit for 3 minutes and play for the round reset. They're saying, hey, Froyo, it's fine. We're not going to use our Uber advantage. We think that you won't be able to break this last in 3 minutes. We challenge you to do this. And if WG, if they hedge their bets right and are correct, then they will be finding themselves in another mid-fight, which is much deeper into the map than their attempt to push probably would have been. So Froyotech trying to break it, trying to get some damage onto Fruit. Caps is in no man's land though. Steve doesn't he die, same with Fanny.
Wow.
But they do find Caps, who was a bit too aggressive. So overall, might be a bit hard to push, but it is technically possible off the 2-player advantage. There's still Uber on the field for the side of Froyotech. And Bombo just on Pyro out into lobby. They're trying to flare him, and yeah, Froyotech's leaving. They have all this room. Gotta lock down the doors, and oh, it is a rotate. They know there's no stickies. They're not that afraid.
Donovan in.
Room. On to
Pyro
Pyro.
sets up 2 up, and that's a 4 spot mode, throws it away. Bad reflect there. Now full ad for Froyo, and a Pyro on second for Witness
Honestly,
Gaming. This is a really tough spot.
And it's deja vu, where it's like, okay, in a normal map, or a different, oh, they extended the spawns. That's really nice. That's an additional 8 seconds, but that'll buy some time. But on a normal map, you get 2 kills with an Uber, even though you don't kill the medic, and you're like, okay, well, we'll just use the player ad to keep the ball rolling. Like, we'll pressure them. We'll find a way to get this force. They don't have their flank up or something, like a door's not being watched. We'll be able to keep going. But Metalworks, the gap between 2 and mid, once again, is so big that and there's so many ways to get flanked that it can be really hard to have that happen. So Froyotech giving up 2 will not really, get punished for it. But they are getting punished right now. Banny is on fire, and not in the good way. This Pyro is still on the field. Scorch Shot, very strong weapon. Fruit a little bit weak, unable to really bomb quite yet. They are in the ramp room, but classic Metalworks fiasco where, it's fine. Long walk. We'll just back up to last. We'll get an Uber of our own. WG is definitely playing very safe, but it definitely makes sense considering this is the final match of the season. You do not want to screw up here or you'll be kicking yourself for a long while. So we've reset. We're back to Froyotech, trying to go ahead and see if they can break this stalemate. And it looks like they're beginning to poke through the left-hand side.
Yep, coming into this, Logan has the gun set up, but it's only level 1 right now. Mirrorman getting great poke. Actually misses the sentry gun, a stationary target from across the way there. And Eric will die here. Witness maybe poke a little bit, but they're just staying, as you mentioned earlier, they are happy to stay on last and get that gun set up and be healthy and ready for Froyotech's advance.
It seems like they're poking at least a little bit again. Eric's not quite there, so it's a field of 5. Gun still first on the agenda. I mean, you've seen sometimes on Metalworks where you do a 2-man and like the scout just soaks the gun and the soldier will be able to get through because the gun isn't tracking him. I've seen plenty of 2-mans like that, but either way, that's still step 1, is the gun is looking at something else that isn't the soldier. So that's definitely their ticket here. They don't have a sniper to try to get fixed that way, but
wow,
finding the kill on the Banny in the shutter, definitely going to be very good and slow down Froyotech a lot. They're poking around, the gun is still up, they're not going to swap off of it, they're just seeing if they can get even more while there's no stickies on the field. Considering the positioning from Froyotech is actually pretty good. I mean, they're getting bounced around by the Scorch Shot. Bot mode's, racking up the fire damage here. But it's not going to be enough probably for them to actually want to full-on push this out into 2. They're just, seeing if Froyotech going to overstay their welcome. Merriman's going to finally re-enter lobby, and same to be said for the rest of Froyotech over by the shutter area. So back to last Witness Gaming go, and they actually killed a lot of time, honestly, with this hold. So under 60 seconds until we go to another mid fight here. So Froyotech, they have like a singular try left, whether it be a sack attempt or like a full-on push. It probably needs to be a push because they have to just full-on win, you know? Like they have to get the cap time for the overtime, etc., etc. So really one more attempt here, otherwise it's going to be, you know, kind of haphazard. So
Mirror Man making the attempt. Great damage.
Oh, gets the force. So overall 2-man, but there's not that much time left, so 23 seconds. Froyotech are going to have to start this push while their flank is still rolling out. But WG, I think they don't want to, they're actually opting to poke it once again, especially with the fact that 2 of them are dead. Quack's actually exited lobby through the ramp room side and actually stole the pack from them, is underneath the B, but we'll go ahead and back up. Recognizes that once again, just poking, you know, not going to full commit, but they have the Uber, and, oh wait, I'm looking at the wrong timer. That wasn't the mid reset, that was the infinite overtime. You didn't say anything. Oh well.
Well, I didn't, yeah, I didn't want to pop your bubble, but it is now infinite overtime, correct?
Yeah. I was looking at the wrong clock, but they're going in either way. The time is still low nonetheless, even though I was looking at the wrong timer. The bot mode taking so much damage. Uber not available for the side of WG to save them. Getting a lot of cap time from the side of Habib. Quack standing on top of the point. Eating some damage itself, but it's going to be bot mode the next one to fall. And Froyotech, they got some weak players, but they have done enough damage and collected enough frags to be able to collect that map. It is 4-0 in Froyotech's favor, and they have finally found success and a victory on Metalworks versus WG.
Yeah, not the result that a lot of people were expecting. That will tie it at 1 in this best of 5. Before we go on to Gullywash, we will take a look at these logs, Jared. What are you expecting to see in terms of top damage, top frags?
I kind of feel like the Froyotech scouts probably put in work more than you would expect for the side of Metalworks scouts. Sometimes, you know, Metalworks scouts get put in a little bit of a prison state. That'd be a bit difficult to find success, especially in some of these stalemates, but I feel like they were doing a pretty good job, so we'll see. I'm still waiting for the... I think we're in the same boat. We kind of just like wait to see the logs pop up on our side monitors.
I'm being so proactive here tonight, and I actually did go and get them, so I will say that top frag's going to Habib, followed by Eric. That's 18 and 17. Bot mode also picks up 17, and then the top damage. 377 out of cap, kind of miles ahead of everyone else there in the damage category.
Yeah, he was definitely putting in work. But in a way, it also kind of makes sense that if anyone finds success on the side of Witness Gaming, it should be the Demo Man. Because if you're in a losing situation, as long as it's not abysmal and you can actually have an attempt to try to hold things, it's not just like an instant leave, like, oh, we're down half our team. You could be in a situation where, you know, people are progressing into your part of the map, so you know they eat your traps and your stickies and your rollers and etc, etc. So it makes sense that he's able to at least put out some damage. It is quite exceptionally high. Was probably doing a lot in the stalemates, constantly harassing him, and Froyotech probably could have maybe done a better job at harassing him to keep him at bay. But at the end of the day, it ended up not being a serious factor in the grand scheme of things to net their victory, because that was a pretty clean 4-0. I mean, it could have gone faster, obviously, but considering the past 2 times they played Metalworks, they were on the back foot the entire game and had to claw their way through to even collect rounds. You know, you definitely take this with a happy smile. So, side of Witness Gaming, probably scratching their heads what went wrong. Is it like a team-based thing on our end that they're figured out? Was it just we spam Metalworks too much and they finally concocted some sort of hard counter to the way that we were playing? You know, they got to kind of go back to the drawing board and make sure that, for their sake, that doesn't bleed into the next map of Gullywash. But we're probably gonna take a small break here, just 2 minutes or so, to make sure that we can take a breather in between the maps, because it is going to be a long night for us if this is going to be a sort of a back and forth notion, because we're already tied up 1-1 because of the one map advantage that was in Witness Gaming's favor. So take a bit of a break. We'll be back in a minute or two for Gullywash. You definitely don't want to miss it, so stick around. We'll be right back. Welcome back, and we are happy to say that these guys are keeping the ball rolling. We're actually at under the 30-second mark for the match actually beginning here on Gullywash. So straight to Prez. Godfather, what are you thinking for the scoreline here?
Froyotech 5-2.
Froyo 5-2. I feel like they've been doing pretty good on Gully, but they've played so much, it's kind of hard to remember if these teams have actually faced on Gullywash once before. I feel like Witness Gaming, they got thrown for a loop, but they've proved so far to be the better team in their most recent BO3s. So I'll give them a little bit of an edge still, but only by slim margins. Maybe like a 3-2 game type of deal where they slowly start to claw their way back. But it really could be anyone's game. The map's been pretty solved by now, but we'll see what both teams' strategies end up being, as both teams have arrived to mid, and it looks like Froyotech's doing a right
so
side
much
mid.
damage.
Yeah,
Cap
that's
is
a lot.
so weak already. Logan actually going to get pressured back as well. It's almost going down. Both scouts from Witness Gaming so weak, but it's actually Mirrorman the first to fall. Logan still weak. Fruit bombs up, but is taken down. Jimmy eats the fight.
Or was that even? I don't know. Either way, that's taken down by the side of Cap. He was in a little elbow, so it probably was a fight, honestly, but Froyotech, they got barely anyone left alive. It's just Donovan and Habib. Mirrorman's a respawner. Where even is Habib? I don't see him through my... Okay, I see him, never mind. He's ran far away. He's out of there, which makes sense. But Donovan is lingering. So he's probably going to try to time this, maybe listen for footsteps walking through the choke. No one knows he's here. Hear the cap, they hear the sticky bombs. Is he going to be able to time it properly, or is he just going to fall and wait?
Go down, it's free!
Finds the perfect timing.
He gets the force!
Yep, does not find the drop there, but does his job. Gives up his life for the force there, and now they're unable to use this as a tool for last, and Mirrorman's actually able to get a kill on the cap, so no stickies, no Uber Froyotech. They're probably just going to try to dry this. Banny's the solo person holding down the fort here inside lobby, but no one's available to try to go for a play here, especially since they don't even have a 2-cap. Last shot from Quacks does not quite connect on Jimmy, so overall, play after play coming from the side of Froyotech to really turn things around after that mid loss. As they found the way, back to mid. That Quack's death was pretty late, so they're able to stack and get rid of his spawn. So they're gonna have one less person to worry about here. But yeah, bot mode sniper could be a thorn in their side. He's inside the forts, looking down at the side of big doors. So they're getting through choke for the most part. He'll have to rotate and his eyes soon, but they're already on top of him. They've seen him. Dominic there on the floor. No one's really getting on him, and it makes sense because they were a person down. Quacks was rolling out, not able to really counter jump or anything like that to get him out of there and keep on sniping. So, unsuccessful defense. They bought at least a little bit of time, but Caps, he's 8 HP, he does fall once again. Losing your Doomman on Gullywash is definitely not a good thing. I mean, obviously, it's never a good thing, but on Gullywash in particular, it's even worse. And now they find themselves only 15% more until they actually get their Uber, but no one's with Hubada. No one's with Hubada. He's not building. They're not getting this Uber in time. Dom's just bombing the point. Zapara on top of the point will eventually die. The Soldier's double bombing onto Donovan. He swings around towards Hubada. He's fine for now, but the cap time is immense. There's so much cap time. This cook is crazy from the side of Froyotech, but overall, just barely WG are able to hold on. They finally have their Uber. They're able to keep Froyotech away, but actually they're still lingering. They're saying, hey, let's sit in lobby. Maybe someone will come forward and be able to get a kill there. There's only 4 of them alive. Only so many people could ever poke out. And they will not be so lucky as to find anyone. But WG is in dire straits right now with needing to deal with this much point time. It has to tick down. You have a heavy on top of it as just in case, you know, measures. But it means you can't really lock down the doors that well. At least it's a scout that's off class and heavy. But Mirrorman has entered water. The Uber exchange comes out. They recognize this heavy will have to get flashed. It will make the red Uber shorter. They've given up so much of an HP though. Banny, Mirrorman, both red HP. Saying we said for Habib, and this execution from the side of Froyotech. I see what they're trying to do here, making red team have a family Uber. But if anything, it was Froyotech that took too much damage, and now they find themselves down 3 with no frags to show for it.
Yeah, 3 die on the exchange, and well, Witness left unscathed. They push out, and Quacks is in. Jimmy, 18.
10. He's gonna take down the die for
He
damage.
dies to the flare, the scorch shot afterburn.
And now Donovan's on spy. He's like, all right, I see your pyro. I raise you a spy. Oh, he got checked. He got checked. Like, first checking corners.
Yeah, he got checked again.
Yeah.
Hubada hit the arrow into the spy.
Yeah, they were just checking corners, and I think accidentally hit Donovan there. Because you can see a lot of scouts and soldiers will try to hide inside of elbows, so you definitely want to make sure no one's hearing in there. And it finds a class, but not probably the class that they were expecting. Eric is in forwards. He's going to be the sole thing that really keeps them alive here. As Bandy's actually pretty aggressive, trying to buy a room for Eric. They're really putting all their eggs in one basket, and Bandy might fight the dust, and he will indeed get taken down, not without taking down Quacks with him, though, overall. player
Wow.
advantage for the side of WG after this Uber comes out.
And Eric's is a back spawn as well, so they definitely had a lot of space there. ×3 onto the cap.
They have incentive to fight. They have respawn advantage. If they can block this in some manner, then they can fight as Mirror Man respawns, then Banny and Beaver are not going to be too much longer until they arrive as well, but they are unable to block it, so at least Donovan doesn't give up his life for it. It was looking sketchy for a moment, unable to really do too much there. But at the end of the day, I mean, it's worth a try. Advent, it didn't go the best, but at least, you know, salvage what little you have left. Back to last they go. So far, just a Pyro. Never mind, not even a Pyro. They're not even willing to, or at least, oh yeah, they have ad. No wonder they're not going for heavier engineer or anything yet. So they can push, but I guess they're changing their mind. Eric got off Pyro like they were gonna push, and then they said, nah, never mind, go back. So,
Donovan checking for off classes right now as Froyotech sets up. I feel like Witness Gaming is trying to turn this map in their favor, but they're, you know, kind of slamming their head into a wall. Froyotech has been pretty clean here. We do have Bat's backup in the hands of Donovan. Now, I'm of the opinion Banner is just better. Is that the case?
We saw him do this on Metalworks, and it worked out pretty well. The only way the Banner isn't better is if you're, like, stuck on it in a map where you really need to make space. Like, if you use Banner and you stay on it, and you're playing, like, Process or Sunshine, and your team's clawed their way all the way back to mid, you might be kind of sad that you can't make space the way you want to because your rocket jumps ate way too much of your health. But honestly, the Banner could be the thing that nets you the opportunity to push into mid in the first place. So it's kind of like, you know,
Eric
just a play style thing, really. But overall, 2-man does not really work out. But Eric is behind, trying to find an opportunity, but bot mode spots him, falls down, just runs away, doesn't want to get cleaned up. Finds, actually, Donovan working his way behind as well.
It's a 2v1!
Did not expect this 2v1, but
Now
respawn, able to overall trade out at least a bit. But Eric's still behind, Thorn in their side, bot mode, eating a lot of damage. Logan doesn't want to take the 1v1 yet, he doesn't want to coin flip it. So just with this team for now is kind of just inside lobby, blobbing up, make sure that Eric can't pick anyone off, but also Froyotech can't really push that far in, so gotta be careful. But the shot from bot mode! He just hero shots it through River, able to take down Jimmy, and now they don't have their whole team here quite yet, but they're, okay, now they have a group of 5 in through River. They're probably just gonna pop straight through before they can get heals. Eric does get fruit, so that is something, but he's basically dead. He's 14 HP at mid. They're just playing the cap time. Donovan's there. He has a shotgun out, tried to get the damage on the Logan, but does get flashes. They've gotten so much, but the respawners do come back to the ladder for Froyotech. Everything's just going WG's way, at least for now. Eric 1 HP, does get one final frag with his last breath, but a sniper versus demo fight with a okay, no, Hubita's gone. It's sniper versus demo. It was looking really good from the side of WG, but the tail end of things, I think the respawners really sealed the deal there for the side of Froyo.
That is
Jimmy did
crazy.
Die. Small eye for WG.
Absolutely crazy that Froyotech holds on there. The sniper, yeah, can't really duel a demo there at low HP. He did hit a body shot, but no clutch headshot. He's now, bot mode now, peeking through the second shutter. And Witness is back to their second, not playing in the lobby area despite having ad.
Yep, they're getting in lobby now at least. I think I'm skitching out because I feel like I heard a spy declo, but there's no spy on the field, so I guess I need to take my medicine. But bot mode hits a nice shot on the Mirror Man, so gonna be a player advantage here alongside your ad as they're taking it through balcony to avoid the Pyro. The Pyro's still putting in work though. Donovan taking some damage though, he will not be so lucky. So no soldiers available for the side of Froyotech. Logan bringing him over to the point. Bomb comes in from Quack. Coming from Fruit, finds a little bit of damage. They're not really doing this too well on the side of WG. I mean, I respect the balcony push to avoid the Pyro, like to not have to deal with it at all. But I mean, they got the soldier frags, but after that, they were nowhere near or in a good spot to be able to go ahead and retake last. I mean, they tried to bring people over, but find themselves caught. Hubita dead, Cap's dead. Honestly, a bit elongated of deaths there. That makes it even harder to hold mid. If they would have wiped with the rest of the team, if you think about it, they could have maybe been up to like put some sort of like pressure here on mid, but will not be so lucky. So now, pretty much no one's here. Everyone's hightailing out of there. No one's hiding in corners or anything. So Froyotech get a free mid after that, and get an opportunity to go ahead and push onto 2. No sniper in the forwards or anything like that. Just double soldier at the choke area. Cap's putting us in sticky, but they're poking around. And he's peeking before Donovan's jumping through actually, but he'll finally jump through. It's actually pretty good by Quacks to put this much damage on. Maybe the lack of discipline from the side of Froyotech might be the thing to punish them, as they've hurt themselves a bit, but they do eventually still find the fruit kill, so it matters not, as this is still a huge ad. They're going to want to keep going, but Donovan will eventually die to a trap. Caps gets 2, he might die for this, but honestly getting 2, you can't be too mad at that. You get the force as well, pretty much. They're running straight towards the gun area, able to take them down. Logan has to resup. Quacks gives up his life for the
great
point.
pressure.
On top of it, but not quite enough for the tank to deal with it. Honestly, it was looking like it might be hard for Froyotech to work that Uber, but I guess they weren't that far back in the lobby. They were almost ready to push anyway. They gave up a couple people, but still had enough players on the field to get what they needed to get done. Got the gun, pushed the engineer back. Anyone that came towards the point melted, despite not having a full 6 ready to push. And that's enough to net them the first round here on Gullywash.
Cap eating a lot of early damage here, down to 58 HP. I'm on his POV here as he now has to wait for heals, working his way forward. Soldier be soldier, good damage onto Donovan, picking up that frag. Vanny eats the pipe, but
man,
will
flanking.
hit the pipes right back. Vanny kills Cap, and yeah, the flank coming forward. It's going to be an interesting spot for Mirror Man, all the way behind at this point as Witness cleans up the Cap.
Pretty standard that your target selection here for a floor mid from the side of Froyotech is going to be the Demo Man, but that's going to be all they really get. But WG trying to go for some sort of dry here while they thought that Froyotech was still at Big Door, but would not be so successful there. They have an Uber soon to bail themselves out, but not quite yet. Donovan might be taking him out of the equation. Like I said, doesn't have quite yet Donovan finding the needle in the haystack moment to be able to take down Hubba before the Uber's in the equation. Mirrorman's on the chase. Already getting the sniper out of the way, but will probably give up his life for it. But at the end of the day, they're happy with that Hubba kill despite giving up both their soldiers. And they still have the Uber ready to go. Over by Big Door near both the shutters. Gotta be careful that no one's gonna flank through, but no one's really at the doors ready to do that, so they're gonna be A-okay for now. Mirrorman won't be available for this push if they go immediately. And since it's such a big ad, I wouldn't be surprised for them to take at least a little bit slow. Watch the traps in lower. We'll dodge it at least for now, but buffing up. Trying to spot, they are taking it slow and methodical, trying to spam down the gun that will succeed, definitely playing greedy in a good way to make sure they can make the most of it, and they immediately find fruit. Hopped over the shutter, hopped over to their death is more like it as Vanny stickies down this right side, and Logan almost dies to the traps. What are you doing, my man? But will survive to be on the point, takes down them all as they reach a 4K, and Logan will be the last one down in a post-round death. So Froyotech turned things around real quick there, 2-0 in their favor.
So one thing I remember from RGL LAN was that Froyotech lost the first finals match, then stayed up late the night before Grands, working on how to win, and then absolutely obliterated in the next meeting, winning Grands that season. They have come back from the Witness losses, figured out how they're playing it, and now absolutely rolling. Vanny, though, is going to repeat an earlier error and die first on this mid-fight, Jarrett.
Yep, going to be able to get a lot here on the side of WG. Froyotech only given up Vanny so far, and that's the only thing they're going to be able to give up. I mean, it was a fast soldier bomb, like, that's going to happen sometimes. You give up your Demo Man, but the rest of the map, nothing was going WG's way. Quacks will be the first respawner, obviously, as he gave up his life for the Vanny frag. But that Vanny frag is going to make sure that Froyotech can't just steamroll immediately. They can't just leave one and push while the gun is barely built up. In fact, it is going to just get a pistol down, of all things, by the side of Habib. So WG, they have at least a little bit of breathing room, but they're still spamming this gun. He's not going to get it into a good spot, really. It's just going to, maybe if he's lucky, he'll get it to level 2. But Froyotech, they've rotated towards River. The Pyro bot mode's ready for it, and they have popped through, short-shotted. Blasting back to B, but Vanny's on the case, able to take down the gun, reflecting at least a little bit of spam. Fruit will definitely die though, so one frag in favor of the side of Froyotech as the down man duel happens to the side of Shutter, but none of them die. Heavy on the field of Logan. Botmo just running at Vanny inside Secret, but so far
so little
they've
damage.
given up so much. There's no room to stand on. Like, you walk out of Gullywash spawn, and congrats, you've walked out of spawn, but you're still just all on top of each other. So WG, they get a little bit of breathing room, but not quite enough to avoid the onslaught of the meat grinder that is Froyotech when they initiated into the post. So overall, Froyotech, they're looking like they're, doing really well in Metalworks, and, nothing's going to be different for the side of Gullywash, it appears. Caps was a bit slow on his rollout. I think he hit a wall, but is indeed rolling out fine to choke. Just might be a bit slow. But anyway, we're on to our 4th mid of this Gullywash game.
And Froyotech in the driver's seat here as mid-fight gets underway. 3-0 is the scoreline on Froyotech's map pick. Jimmy kind of out to dry here, but not getting punished yet. Mirror narrowly avoids damage. Now Jimmy gets landed on, but the second rocket doesn't connect, and he will somehow survive. Fruit, the last play. It's a wipe again. Froyotech keeps their med alive.
It's the same thing where, like, the soldiers from WG, they're finding the person they want to kill. They sent both soldiers to go ahead and kill Banny, and they did indeed succeed at that. And I think in the past, there's been plenty of examples of mid-fights or just games in general where taking Banny out of the equation was a really good key to success, but the rest of the map's not working out in their favor. I think Froyotech have realized that Banny can be the sacrificial lamb as long as Froyotech recognize they have an opportunity to aggress while he's dead. But Donovan in water throughout all this time. They do have ads that they will push in, and he will be a thorn in their side, popping out from water and getting some cap time to bring people over once Uber comes through, or something of the like. But Uber going in, taking a bit to take down the gun. Har's doing a good job. Donovan keeps the point, but Quacks will give up his life to go ahead and defend it. Now it's Mirror Man's turn. Finds the pyro, trying to put the damage on, able to get the damage on first, but Banny gives up his life. But the cap, yeah, Mirror Man.
I did not think they got that.
After Donovan went through water, Mirror Man did the same thing. So you're like, okay, we dealt with the water person, we're good. Wrong. There's 2 water people. So, you know, sometimes it's little plays like that to throw people off, and they tried to deal with him, but they were not prepared enough. Is able to get the cap there, and this is a pause. Considering we're 4-0, it could be either. It could be a tech or attack pause. Who knows? It's 90 seconds in the future because of STV. So they're not. Oh, Mirror Man lagged out a mumble. It's a tech.
Sad to hear.
Hopefully for his sake it was while he was already dead, so it doesn't matter. But if he was doing something crucial there, you know, mid-bomb, mid-hold, not going to be that pretty for the side of Froyotech. But we'll see how it goes.
Astute Froyotech fans may have noted that over the last 4 seasons, Froyotech has won 2 grands. Both the times they have won, I have been casting it. Both the times they have not won, I was not casting it. So I think Froyotech tonight has the omens in their favor with me being on the cast chair. And I think they've got it in the bag here.
It could be. I mean, this is a really tough climb for the side of WG. We've seen a handful of reverse sweeps before. It's just hard to mathematically bank on them. You know, you have to really see a giant swing. And since WG haven't really put a round on the board quite yet, they'd have to really figure some stuff out. For the mid fight that we're going to be seeing, so far, as like I said before, they've done a pretty good job at trying to take Banny out of the equation, but obviously that's not the sole thing here that's, you know, going to be the ticket to win. Because they get him, sure, they give up their soldiers for him, but everyone else kind of dies as well. So the aggression from Froyotech is even more successful. And in a way, it makes you wonder that I think Froyotech have actually progressively had Banny play more and more passive, so he's more and more difficult of a target to actually kill. Well, I think Froyotech have changed their target selection as well to make sure that the person they're actually gunning for is actually the person they're able to secure. I think I flash back to some of the Metalworks matches, and the mids that they got to actually play were games where Froyotech had a issue, like they got with WG players really, really weak, were unable to actually get the frags, and it's probably because people were trying to target people that were way too deep that no one else could really get to. It's pretty important, you know, if a soldier's going to go really deep, it's going to be hard to, like, for a scout to run through everyone else to get to the back line unless they're, like, going through a flank side or something, right? So it's really important, and everyone kind of baits themselves in a healthy or unhealthy manner, different depending on the team you're playing, so you got to really focus on that, and I think that's probably one of the bigger reasons why that you see such a flip and turnaround from the side of Froyotech, regardless of what map's being played. I guess you can say that we've played some, you know, pretty, you know, projectile-heavy maps. So there's something to be said, like, well, what happens when they play Sunshine later on? You know, it might be different. Be Scout Playground might have a different opportunity to go for different things. It might be easier for WG to be on the same page and keep themselves together, or make it harder for Froyotech to actually get a person down because you're able to cover your teammates better. But it'll remain to be seen. Either way, I mean, even if Froyotech wins this, it's not like the BO5 is over, because it's WG that has the 1 map advantage, so we will be seeing the 3rd map. I think the 3rd map is Sunshine and the 4th one is Snake, so we'll see Sunshine no matter what, and I think that'll be the big tell for the story of... it'll be late in the story, but it'll be the big tell, I think, at least for me, on the story of what's happened overnight for the side of Froyo. Because this is a pretty miraculous, like... It's one thing for Froyotech to be in the lead here and, like, winning, but it's another to just, like, they're not completely dumpstering WG, but they're kind of like...
It's kind of dumpstering WG.
They're garbage canning them. They're not dumpstering them, you know, it's
a
smaller amount, you know.
Okay.
They're garbage
canning
canning
I think that's a fair assessment. Froyotech figured out how they wanted to play against Witness Gaming over the course of last night and today. I suppose, going up and winning some matches. Maybe in the group we have the unpause finally. I will refresh my HUD, but Froyotech have figured things out, Jared, and are in a position to go up 2-1 in this match.
Yep, WG not quite out yet though, so we'll see if they adjust it at all during this mid. They didn't have the pause to talk about it as it was in the future, but see what they did here nonetheless. As no kills yet, a lot of weak players on the side of WG. They're kind of backed into a corner almost. Fruit actually going all the way behind. They have even less presence here as the blue team jumps forward, able to take down Hubada. They haven't lost Jimmy yet, popped into the air, is flying on top of the point, but Fruit comes in, the long con
Jimmy,
play,
12 health.
finds their man, and overall, full wipe for the side of WG. Froyotech have a Pyrrhic victory, but both scouts probably going to get things capped up really soon. They already have the mid cap, rotating over to the second side to get that capped as well. And, I mean, WG, they did better than they've done so far, but that's not really saying much given the circumstances.
And Witness Gaming finding themselves all the way on their last again here. And no off classes yet. Kind of surprised, honestly, based on how they were playing on Metalworks. You know, just immediately sitting back and setting up a gun, but
Donovan spy.
ooh.
He's on balcony. Just chilling, just spotting him. Oh my god, he eats a direct rocket. Did they see that?
They must have.
Yeah, they did. They saw it. They're spamming. As soon as that rocket came out, they shot a rocket at the corner where the health pack and ammo is. And then this is where the pause was. So we'll see how things go. This was a Mirror Man. Yeah, he's back in the game now, rolling out. Donovan is still committing on spy. Doesn't bump the engineer. He backpedals too. That was just lucky. He wasn't even looking where he was going. And just walked past him. Yep. Finding an opportunity though, just walking in.
That's a free.
Did they not see the spy?
Oh
he
my god!
He gets the sap. The gun's gonna go down probably. Logan tries to go for the spy, unsuccessful. Uber immediately comes out. This is probably a victory for the side of Froyotech as they go in, get a lot of damage on the bot mode, able to take them down. They gave up both their scouts though, and they have a spy on the field that's 2 HP trying to pistol them down. I mean, it makes sense to go in so quick, but a bit ambitious. It's by rough margins. Jimmy gets the one shot. Does he get the second shot?
He gets it!
Logan walked off the point.
Map too.
He didn't want to get melee killed because he couldn't eat one. He was so weak that if he let Jimmy melee him, that he would die and lose, but you have to get within melee reach of Jimmy because you have to be on the point. And at the end of the day, just the little things like that. I mean, good positioning from Jimmy to force Logan to be stuck between a rock and a hard place there. But Logan unable to get the frags out in time to kill that medic. And Froyotech have turned things around. They haven't dropped around yet. They almost clean sweeped him on Metalworks too. This is looking up on the up and up for the side of Froyotech. We are going to be going on to Sunshine, which is a Witness Gaming pick. So if there was any moment for Witness Gaming to turn around, it would have to be now. Not obviously not just because it's their pick and it's a completely different map type, like still 5CP obviously, you know, just more open. But it's because if Froyotech could be making a reverse sweep here in terms of winning against the one map disadvantage, which I think, since we swapped to one map advantage away from bracket busting and ESEA, I think it's only happened like twice so far, I think, right? I think WG did it once, and then Witness Game, or the WG and G6 did it once. There's a gap a couple years between them. So I think Froyotech would be the third time it ever happened, if I remember correctly.
I have taken a look at logs here, Jarrett. And Habib,
What do you see?
I see Habib. Habib diff. 27, 7, and 6 with 350 damage per minute. He's not top damage. That title goes to Cap with 399. But holy Habib, what is that?
He's turned up. And normally in a situation where you could see like, oh yeah, scouts, they'll do okay, they'll do their job. Like you see Logan in bot mode is like, okay, whatever, you did your job. Eric winning, he still only gets 250, but Habib on fire, collecting all those kills. I mean, it definitely helps that you get Ubers into last over and over again to help get like free meat shots galore onto soldiers that are trying to get on the point right and all that. But still, the fact that it climbs to that high of numbers is definitely really important. I think Habib was one of the people that, I don't know about other people, that I was kind of critiquing a bit because despite playing Beam Scout, he was in moments not really being on the beam to be able to protect like Jimmy and Bandy on their escapes. But hey, one, I think he's begun to slowly turn it around and figure it out, so it's no longer an issue, which definitely makes sense. It's a beep of all players. But two, you don't have to worry about an issue of like, what is my scout doing when we're backpedaling if you're never backpedaling at all? Witness Gaming, was there even a moment where it felt like that game was in their hands? I don't really think so. they really got to turn things around if they want to be able to take their map of Sunshine here, especially, like I said before, one more map win for Froyotech, and they are the grand champions of this season.
Yeah, Witness Gaming has a tall task ahead of them, but, I mean, you said it beforehand, this is the map for Witness to come back on, and, I mean, shakiness on Metalworks couldn't really find their groove, getting, we'll say, trash canned on map number 2. Now need to climb their way out of the dumpster and get back into this match. Who are you looking for on Witness to lead the team out of this gutter?
I think they're, what's the phrase? What's the phrase with, my drawing a blank. What's the phrase when, like, you're, getting a bias of, like, positivity because what you're doing is successful?
Bias.
I think the WG soldiers might, could get lulled into a confirmation bias. And
or maybe not confirmation bias, but go on.
Either way, I think the WG soldiers are succeeding at what they're trying to do, but I think they're kind of off on an island. I think whenever they're gunning for, like, Banny or whoever, like a stray scout or whatever, they're double bombing, they are finding success in killing that player. But it's very obvious that there are other players that are probably much more easier to kill and are a much higher threat to the team, because while they're getting that done, the rest of WG is wiping to the onslaught of the side of Froyotech going forward. So I feel like there needs to be an alteration of who your target is. I think the past week or so, it being Banny has worked out in their favor. It's not the case anymore. And they're smart enough to figure that out, but are they going to be able to figure that out in time, or do they look at it and see it as something else? You know, it could be, it's not just about, like, what we think is right or wrong, because at the end of the day, it comes down to what the teams actually decide to change, because you know, play styles and all that, and everything is a little bit different depending on the team makeup, etc., etc. But got the players loading into Sunshine. This could be for all the marbles depending on who wins, and we have the scores ringing out right now. After what we've seen so far and seen throughout the past week, what are you thinking that Sunshine will be?
Ooh, this is a great question here. Froyotech is favored by the crowd, and I'm inclined to say that with Witness yet to pick up a round tonight, this should be a Froyo advantage, but it is Witness Gaming's map pick, and, you know, they're on their back foot here. They need to make something happen. They might be able to claw it together. I think this is going to go to Froyotech, but I think it's going to be maybe a 5-3.
I'm thinking. I feel like with one of the potential issues that Froyotech had being kind of, you know, fixed at least for now, I feel like it should make a map like Sunshine even easier to play, where normally I would have said, you know, pretty WG favored. However, you know, we have the whole night that we've seen so far of Froyotech being in the driver's seat. It's kind of hard to, like, I don't think there's a universe where anyone can realistically say, like, oh yeah, WG is going to sweep this. Like, it is their map pick. I don't remember how much Sunshine they've really played, but, you know, it is different than the other maps. There's a universe where I could see a WG victory here, but I feel like it would be not by much, and I feel like it's a much more sane prediction to be like, you know, Froyotech will probably take it away in some fashion. I think it'll be a closer game than we've seen so far, but how close? I'll say like a 5-2 for Froyotech. I feel like I'm not that confident with that prediction, but at the end of the day, I gotta say something, so I'll throw out
pretty
that.
close. I mean, I'm calling it 5-3. I think Witness Gaming might be able to get something rolling here, and it might be like a 4-2 as we enter infinite overtime. Witness Gaming picks up a round, and then Froyotech closes it out.
Actually, no. I'm gonna say 4. I think the fact that I'm staring at these predictions on my side monitor, and I'm seeing, like, yeah, the highest number is 3.4. You know, I don't think this is gonna get 5. I think the reason why, like, I think of it this way: if we see a WG resurgence where they start getting better, I don't think it might be through mids of control into rounds, but it would be a lot of back and forth that would kill time. So I'm gonna change my pred to a 4-1 for Froyo.
Joe, shout out the Micro Cheese. What's up, guy? Thank you for the gifted subs, and thank you to everybody who's been supporting here tonight. All the follows, all the Prime subs and gifted subs. It's been really great to see. I haven't mentioned it yet, but I'll have to mention it for that. And right back into talking about this matchup. I mean, Froyotech not giving up our rounds in Grands is, I feel like, quintessential Froyotech, comeback.
It's funny because if you think about this from years ago, you'd be like, Froyotech not giving up a map in Grands, what else is new? But I feel like the past year or so, it's been like Froyotech it's been seen as a good team, but depending on the roster, they have, some opponents they have to fight against an uphill battle. It's not always clean. You expect this closeness, and then seeing how this season goes, it's kind of reinforced that, like, they're the last season's champions, but a dent will get put in them at least somewhat. The second place team's no slouches. It's not a free season or whatever. After seeing the past week, you'd be like, even they might even lose this, might even get second or something, But seeing this, they ate their Wheaties this morning or something, because they're on a roll. You might be right. All it takes is a little talk, and then you get the ball rolling and get the things fixed. I don't even know how much they actually talked about. I mean, you definitely know they talked about something.
Oh, yeah.
When it comes to the amount of topics they felt like was necessary to actually look at, what from their perspective they felt like the priorities were. Because you can only cover so many things at once, right? Otherwise, there's, too much going on. But, I don't know, whatever it is, it definitely seems like it's working out for them for obvious reasons. I think we got, I think Quax is AFK, otherwise everyone else is pretty much here. I kind of expect to see more Sniper than we've seen so far tonight, though. I will say that will definitely change the pace of the game a little bit. Because I think the other maps, you could play Sniper on them, obviously. But what little we saw was in, like, stalemate scenarios or, sitting inside the forward spawn, not really going out of it for the most part. But I feel like with Sunshine, you could definitely see it way more. It could be pretty favorable. Just because of how big mid is, and it could be an avenue to try to break into last as well. So, I'd be kind of surprised to see less of that in comparison to the other maps. But other than that, I don't think there's too much to write home about when it comes to the off classes. In a way, I guess Spy is kind of mixed, because, Sunshines can be pretty big in a long walk sometimes. Way more compared to Gullywash. But it also means that once you get in, you don't have to worry about bumping into anyone, because there's a lot of room to move around, So, I don't know how much that'll change, but excited to see what happens when it comes to the way that teams will try to, break the eventual stalemates nonetheless. Is Sunshine not a stranger to them? It's not not as much as maybe like a Sultry or Gullywash or something, or a Metalworks that we've just saw. But you can get it occasionally. I think teams sometimes have a problem trying to break into two, like we saw with Process, I think, so far. I think Darkest Knights have picked a lot of Process, so we've seen a lot of it. And, even though they're high-level teams, the high-level offense means high-level defense. You're gonna have an issue trying to break into some of the maps that are made like this, where, you can get your 2-man in or whatever, get a sack in, but it's still hard to force that medic. So it makes sense that things kind of slow down in maps like these. Sunshine, no stranger to it. But anything in particular you're anticipating for this match after what we've seen so far?
I mean, if Habib is gonna carry any momentum into this match, he's gonna frag out here, and so I'm kind of looking for that. It's kind of crazy to see. It's been a while since Habib's been in a grand finals on Scout. I don't know what season it would be, and seeing him pop off here on map number 2 and playing a great game overall has been really cool to see. So going to be watching him a fair amount, and also just Mirror Man on Froyotech. I mean, Soldier can have a field day on this map, and certainly looking for Mirror Man to do the same.
Yep. Shout out to Donovan as well, because that Donovan is, obviously it's grand finals, everyone's trying their hardest. I'm pretty sure this is Donovan's last season though, at least for now. The saying, no one quits TF2, right?
Right,
but,
right.
But he's quote unquote quitting for now, so we'll see what ends up happening there. But you definitely want to go out on a dub, and he's been pulling out all the stocks lately to try to pull one out for his team, and so far it's working out pretty well for them. So once again, I think even though Froyotech are on a roll, if anything, that means our eyes should kind of be on WG for the most part. They're the one that's really have to change a lot here with the way they're playing. I don't think we have much of a Sunshine reference. If these guys have ever played Sunshine before, it was not a notable match, and I do not remember it. It likely means that it might not have ever happened. You can only play so many maps against a team in a regular season, even with Stage 2 introducing more BO3s. But, something gotta give. I still think it's the whole, the soldiers are killing who they're bombing, but they probably should be bombing different targets. Just to change
so who
things
did you
up.
have them go on instead of Banny?
I think Banny, used to be the prime target because he was the furthest person forward, and it was easy to get that frag because your team could help you clean up on him. But now he's really far back, and now it's just an endeavor where you're trading 2 soldiers for 1 demo man, and you're not helping your team in any fashion, and they can't focus fire with you, like your scouts or anything like that. I feel like the soldiers, and this will help because it's Sunshine, I wouldn't be surprised to see them start doing fades and try to bait Froyotech aggression, and then just loop around and land on whatever Froyotech soldiers are landing, help clean them up, like Mirrorman or Donovan or something. Maybe land on the bell tower really late to tie up the Froyotech combo from running forward, something like that. Or any of the scouts, whether it be Habib or Eric, that are trying to run forward to help clean up. I think that would probably be their ticket, and it would allow them to work together more as a team to collect frags, and it can actually be, at worst, 1-for-1 trades rather than 2 soldiers for a demo man. Then again, it's easy to come up with this idea when you're just watching this for hours in bird's eye view. So we'll see what those guys are able to create in the heat of the moment. But I think what's happening here? Oh, we are under 60 seconds. Nice, because the game's going live soon.
Quacks went for a walk to see the cool fall colors, and the players are having a wonderful exchange in chat. But predictions are up. What is your prediction here?
I'm still sticking to the 4-1 for Froyo. I think
4-1? Oh yeah, I went with 5-2, right? Or 5-3?
Yeah, I think WG can fix some stuff, but oh no, might be too little too late. We've seen some crazy adaptations over the years and really turning things around, but even though it is possible, it's just hard to be like, yeah, that's gonna happen. Like, you know, it's just kind of like, all right, I'll believe it if I see it. So maybe we can start to really believe if the first couple mids start to really go their way, but it's going to be really hard for them if they have to claw their way back out of their own 2 and last every single game. That might be the big ticket here, honestly. You know, you can claw your way back, and don't have to win mid to win the round, I guess, but it is much nicer if you can just start on their side of the map. You have some wiggle room. You don't lose rounds if you fail. So it's only too much time remaining until we begin to see what the final result will be, as we are live, and both gentlemen have arrived to mid. The match of Sunshine for all the marbles potentially has begun.
Yeah, Froyotech, if they win this, they are Grand Finals champions. Witness Gaming has that upper bracket win, giving them a round so far, but otherwise nothing tonight. Mirrorman on the low ground here. Donovan going to be jumping forward as well. Nobody down so far, but great damage for Witness, and Mira's going to go down. Donovan playing behind, Fruit trades out. It's a soldier for a soldier, and now the re-aggression coming in. Jimmy might be getting flanked by Quacks. 1 rocket. Oh, he misses the second. He did. He misses again. Jimmy is so weak, but will go down to Hubita and Cap, the only ones alive here. Cap going to fall for sure, and now Hubita is going to... Oh, with the melee
double
fight!
melee! Are you kidding me? Someone split screen that. Well, obviously you can't do it now, but please someone edit split screen that. That was looking like, oh, they gave up all the marble, like, they gave up everything to get the medic in demo frag, but they gave up their scouts for it. Oh, WG's gonna wipe here. But... Cap and Hubita just becoming a hive mind, realizing, oh, I think a melee is appropriate here, and both are correct. Both are fighting opponents that are that weak. Both get their man. So what a turnaround at the last second there. So Uber retained from the side of WG. Very good start for them. We'll see if the plays continue. As they're on the move now in Cafe. Roller's eaten by the side of Hubita. Very weak to pop. Cap's in the stratosphere. So much damage. 2 dead. Donovan and Jimmy on the chase. Jimmy's alone. The scout was getting a scout speed, did indeed die. I mean,
Eric!
He get the kill on the Hubita, but I mean, I'm sure he's fine with that. Yeah, Mir's behind. Might be able to get Logan. Does succeed, but can't really block, so... Oh, actually, no. Oh, he gets pre-fired. He gets the pack. Actually, he might be able to block a little bit here. Cap's going their way. Respawns up. Caps is trapping the spawns. It's not going to work. You know, he has to back up, so... I guess because Mirrorman's behind, makes it hard for them to just go ahead and spawn camp last, immediately cap it up. So have to play a bit slower. WG aren't able to get around there, but they do find themselves owning the opposing team second. Ad for Jimmy, because he did indeed die first, but it's so slim. Even if it is artificially created to a bigger number, they're not going to use it at all, really. Gun getting built up by Habib, recognizing the situation. Donovan's checking for off classes right now inside spawn. Will not find anything. WG is on cookie cutter for now, so go ahead and swap back to soldier, and we have reached a pause. This game's just started. This is not attack, this is attack. Did Mirrorman lag out again? Mirrorman probably lagged out again.
Yeah, we'll wait to hear from Dolphin if we do. We'll let you guys know, but Froyotech, on their own last year. This is interesting. Witness Gaming finally showing some clean control after not yet scoring around. So we'll see if they get in with just a level 1 going up from Habib. It's going to be on the right side of that point. And so with the gun where it is, Jarrett, what is the proper angle to get into last?
Either you spam down the gun from the side of the door it's facing and then go in right after, or you abuse the fact that the gun cannot see the left-hand side from the defender's perspective ever, and you use that to get people in. It's important depending on where Jimmy is standing, because if he's sitting underneath like the platform where the little pill bottle is, like close to the doors against the wall, then that left-hand side from the defender's perspective is a really good option, because you just turn a corner, and Jimmy's right there. But considering where he's playing right now, where he's actually playing next to the gun, probably means you're entering a route where this gun kind of has to be taken out of the equation until Jimmy actually moves to a different location. Isn't doing a forward hold because there is no sniper on the field or anything like that, so they might have to go for that route if they want to make that happen from the side of WG. But with Bot Mode's death, that is going to be their sack. We'll see what he's respawning soon, but Froyotech, Mirman was on the move to see if he could find someone in the lobby, but will not be so lucky there. See what Bot Mode respawns as. It is Sniper, so the Sniper threat will probably end up pushing Jimmy closer to the wall, and then maybe they could go for some sort of route where they try to sack in while ignoring the gun. It'll kind of put Froyotech's defense to the test. You can see he's rotating over there now, but we'll see if WG has the execution they need to be able to get this going. Donovan is on banner once again, so that is something that is going to be a factor.
Oh, Bot Mode obliterated!
Dies on Sniper. And Cap caught. Hello. He does need to get saved. So not going to be too lucky there with the play, but had to go for it. Donovan going to die in lower, so banner pretty much reset. As WG, they have some room to work with here. There's no soldiers, means very little spam, and the pipe onto Banny, the scatter onto Eric, they're crumbling. It's an engineer Uber. Let me repeat that.
It's beautiful.
An engineer Uber.
Habib is so graceful.
That's all she wrote. They crumbled so hard there. And that's a round for WG.
And that's the pause.
Okay,
Banny
no,
goes for a
was
pause.
Attack. That was actually that was not attack. That was attack. That crumbled so hard they needed to pause and take a sec to talk about what the heck went wrong. But at least for them, they don't have to hold last immediately or anything like that, as we are back to another mid-fight here on Sunshine.
Yeah, Witness Gaming taking their first round tonight, and it is on their map pick here, trying to get back into this matchup. Cap eats a bit more damage than Banny, it looks like. Actually, might be the other way around, but it doesn't end up mattering. Donovan taking some space onto the point, ×3 for Froyotech. Nobody truly committing. Now Quacks is in on Habib. Banny right forward, but getting obliterated. Eric getting great damage onto Hubita, but Hubita will be out. Bot Mode is going to fall, but Jimmy falls apart. Fruit 2K there.
Yeah, inside each other's models. I was a little worried on the side of WG in terms of like, oh wait, bomb coming in. The final rocket.
Oh
Mirman
my
does
god.
It. Finds his man. WG, honestly, the beginning was really rocky for them. They were winning in the damage department. They set 4 different Froyotech members to red HP, but I was getting some fearful like remembrance of what I said in the pregame that their focus fire might be a bit off and making sure they can collect the right person and gun for them. But, you know, it's slow and steady, wins the race. Eventually they came in, Fruit bombed in. Or maybe not bombed him, but it kind of just like waddled over from the bell tower. Able to find, I think it was Jimmy and Habib on top of each other. And 2 kills, 1 rocket, that'll really seal the deal there near the tail end of things. So, wasn't the cleanest, but is enough to maintain supremacy over the mid area. Jimmy did die first. However, it was such a late death from the Mirrorman play that everyone in the server is brutally aware that Jimmy does indeed have an ad to work with. It is Sunshine, so it might be kind of hard to use unless you try to walk early with it or just like yeet yourself straight through one of the doors. But it doesn't look like their margins at which Froyotech actually want to use. They've been playing pretty safe for the most part. They've really put the pedal to the metal in the previous matches, akin to like the way the Darkest Nights is playing in a way. But they've really shied away from that. And I think that's one of the changes they've actually made for sure. As I've kind of like really realized this, they've really shifted their playstyle from a much more risky way into a much like safer, like nah, it's fine, we won't use 30 ad, it's whatever type of way. They don't play on a knife's edge anymore. And maybe that's the ticket they needed. Maybe playing on a knife's edge was the thing that, sure, they can win sometimes, but it also kind of nets them terrible losses when they do it. So, you know, maybe that's the big thing here. But either way, we're gonna see WG work their way over towards the cafe side. It is on them to go ahead and break this stalemate. And some time has been chewed off, but they still have a little bit of time remaining before we would go to another mid-fight, but they haven't really committed to anything at all yet. They've been rotating around, poking around, seeing what is available and what looks good as a route to try to go through. But not really finding anything they like yet. Caps is kind of walking in, doesn't commit too far. There's stickies all over the floor, so it's only so far you can go. But still no bomb in. Oh no, Fruit's trying to go.
There you go, Fruit. Oh, doesn't get much though.
Not really.
Took so much
down
time. Oh,
Mirror Man?
there's a soldier in. Mirror, yeah. Gets behind through Cafe.
Rocks some eyes. Oh, Quacks and Choke though did so much
Donovan
damage.
onto Hamada. Donovan missing most of the rockets and getting the force at the end. I don't know if Donovan actually had a rocket remaining there. Oh!
The
Cap!
drop? Hello?
The drop with the pipes!
What the? All right. At first, I was gonna say, oh, this is good for WG. They killed 3 with 1 Uber. That's not you. You're fine with that. You just get the force out of Jimmy. And as soon as I was thinking like force in my head, I was like, oh wait, there's not gonna be a force. This is just a round probably. Only 3 remaining from the side of Froyotech with the respawns.
Left out to try though.
Yeah,
Oh,
not
yeah.
quite enough. WG win this fast enough that the respawners of Jimmy and Banny are not really a factor there. And it's a little bit of a deja vu moment we've seen in the past couple days, or moments where like Froyotech doesn't do something too hot and a Jimmy drop really is the nail in the coffin, and that's going to be a moment there that WG is going to be savoring as they're up 2-0 in this game. But they still got a long way to climb, and Froyotech, they've been pretty prime all day so far. So, you know, they have the opportunity to kind of turn things back. Could just be a little bit of flesh wound, but we'll see what happens here on the 3rd mid of Sunshine.
Quack's gonna be jumping forward, kind of taking space away from Mirrorman, who is pressuring on the flank. Now Fruit up in the air. Quacks goes through, doesn't get much onto Jimmy and will go down. Now Mirror has that space again and is gonna pressure Witness all the way out. They're getting out through Valley, but they're eating a lot of damage while doing so. Froyotech takes the mid, and Witness will set up on 2.
I think Quacks instinctively tried to follow up on Fruit's bomb, thinking that like, oh, Fruit did a lot of damage. I'm gonna go up and clean things up. I'm gonna be a good teammate and follow up. But I don't think Fruit did any damage. So Quacks just came in and removed some people's buffs and then died for it. But they're holding on to 2 at least for the side of WG fans. They get the kill on the Donovan. Mirrorman dropped to 6 HP. Once again, still skills away in the air. Gets the kill on to bot mode. I feel like it's been numerous amount of times that I've seen Mirrorman just run away and indeed escape. So any Mark Gardner fans, if you're wondering, like, you know, does the escape plan still have any use with the Mark Gardner's resurgence? I think Mirrorman is a really good example of it. Eric tries to go in. They get the kill on a Cap, actually. Bomb coming in from the side of Donovan will
Quacks
not
is
commit.
behind.
Quacks and Fruit are kind of behind, and they've given up a platform for the side of the red team. They've given up some players, though, and health across the board. And the drop!
No!
Their medics are taking turn dropping, and Jimmy sees a free Uber opportunity, doesn't want to waste it and drop himself. So, wow. Fruit behind, bot mode in front. They're not really going to be able to do too much here. Yeah, Fruit does indeed die to Eric. Bot mode needs to just run away at this point. Getting chased down a tad. No! Unable to escape. Donovan on the chase, able to get that frag in. That means they're going to be down 2 for a bit here. Froyotech are going to dry this, and this is looking like it could be a Froyotech round of execution. It's just pretty textbook, so we'll see if they're able to pull that off or not.
Yeah, you kind of have to throw it away here for Froyotech to not pick up a round where someone has to go and be a hero on the side of Witness. They're going to pick up Donovan. Bot mode is going to be respawning, but it's 30 ad, so it doesn't matter too much for Froyotech if you sack one in now. But yeah, I mean, Froyotech just sitting, waiting. They can play off this ad pretty cleanly and get a round on the board.
Yeah. I'll be able to get this gun out of the way. It is on the opposite side of the map, and they are pushing very, very quickly. It is only a 15 ad, though. I thought it might be a bit bigger than this, so this could be the thing that WG used to push back out of their spawn. 98%. Hubbard needs to get the last bit. Is walking out to make sure he's able to be with his team. No one dying, so finally Quacks will die. Hubbard dropped to 9 HP, and
That
then
was nuts.
he almost just dropped again. They do kill both Froyotech scouts though, so no scout speed means it's going to be a bit rough for them. But at least Jimmy maintains his Uber and is able to build up ad once again. It could be 30 and more if they do indeed build, but considering they do not have a scout to build and Donovan is running the gunboat, it's going to be hard pressed to actually make it bigger than, or that much bigger than it already was. It's going to be about 20 and might get lower because bot mode is building this whole time. So it's going to be probably just about as hard as it was, 15 ad. Looking like back to where they were a couple weeks ago, and they were using these 15% ads and just say, screw it, we're gonna go in. And they're doing a good job of getting the gun at least. The gun not being a factor because of all this early spam could be the thing that they need, but different door this time. Bombing in as soon as they get 20% more for Hubba to go until they have an Uber of their own. Get the gun down, moving the stickies, double soldier bomb onto the scout. Habib
Mirrorman needs to
alive
die.
though. They didn't hit their shots. They full sent both their soldiers onto Habib and didn't get the kill until way later, but it doesn't matter.
Kill
Only
Jimmy.
3 left alive. On to Banny. Actually, we're losing everyone. Cap's
Wait.
gonna fall. Hubba almost dies to fall damage. Bot mode gets the frag on a Jimmy, but things are looking pretty dire for the side of WG to have
Logan
much
can't lead the
more.
point. Okay, now he can lead the point.
Okay.
As,
Yeah, they're fine. Oh, bot mode does need to get piped down. Mirrorman and Banny combo, and that could have been more than just, you know, getting the Jimmy kill. That could have been just them actually pushing out onto 2, but sloppy execution at the tail end there means they will not have the luxury of walking out of their last. They're still stuck in it. This ad is nothing. It doesn't exist. So back to gun they go. Logan building it up, and after all said and done, Froyotech still in control of things. The one thing that WG does have in their favor, though, is even though they didn't recap 2, they've shown before, just like the Darkest Nights, that they are a team that is okay, just chilling, sitting at last. We'll just go for the mid reset. It's whatever. It's safer. We're fine playing mids. Very G6-esque of them, and hey, look at how many G6 players are on their team. So definitely makes sense. Got the gun build up, got their Uber ready. Pyro as well on the field if they need it. So and they're playing close to the wall. Gotta be careful of people jump around the corner, but Froyo, they only have so much time to really work with here, honestly. They're trying to
1
spam.
minute before the mid-fight reset, so they have to go soon, and it's gonna be here likely. No, Banny spamming, trying to get the gun down, hits the dispenser instead. Not gonna pull the trigger.
They really want to Uber exchange while the gun's not dead. So once they get the force, they could go for some other class instead of the gun, or at least like do something so they get a sack in, and do a classic like Froyotech Uber right after the sack ends. But not finding any luck. They finally have to Uber now. Running towards Hubba, does need pop to make sure they don't drop cap. The gun isn't dead yet. They haven't found an avenue. Donovan will finally spam it down, including Banny with his pyro bot mode. Able to kill Banny. Jimmy can't commit. He's 30 HP, and he's just running at Eric. Able to get the frag. He has cap. He's collecting them like trading
Jimmy.
cards.
He doesn't burn to death. He eats an arrow.
But Donovan, though, he collects 2. They have a little bit of time left. He's jumping in, but will not find too much. And with Habib not in position to actually get any cap time here, WG, they don't want to just cap 2. They're like, oh, why would we own 2 when we can just win mid next time? So they go back to last, let it reset. They'd much rather take much more ground, having an even playing field at mid, and bot mode types barbecue in chat. He got like, what, a 3K there on the pyro? 2 flame kill. Well, he didn't. I guess Caps is the one that secured the kills, but he definitely got the reflect kill near the tail end there, so huge plays from him, finding the timing to run forward. But back to mid we go. No round collected for either team, and we're back to the drawing board to see who's able to be up on top near the tail end of this fight.
Number 4, Fruit, kind of beefing some movement there. Might be a little slow here, but it doesn't really matter. This is a rather drawn-out mid oftentimes. Jumps forward now. Good damage onto Eric. 1 health. Does go down. Now Jimmy. Oh, he's 7 HP. Somehow survives. Habib so weak as well. 2 health. Banny goes down. And it all falls apart for Froyotech on this mid. Witness Gaming could have pressed harder there and absolutely obliterated, but play a little bit safe, take the mid. Now they're working into 2.
The spam was so much better. Not only did they weaken Jimmy, so he had to leave, but they weakened like at least 2 other Froyotech members as well. They're trying to work themselves in here while Banny's still dead. They know there's no stickies with the bomb. From Donovan, Hubba doesn't use though. Eats the pack, it's fine. Donovan gives up his life. Jimmy almost has Uber to be able to use as a retaliation method if they want to try to run into them, but able to get Fruit without having to use it. Overall, 5v5 bomb mode.
Obliterated.
Too far forward. Just trying to make some room, maybe do a sack, but overall, it's going to be it for the side of WG as Froyotech.
Mira's in here for free. They don't see Mirrorman. Great drop. No way.
He thought the rock would go right past him, but slight miscalculation there as only WG members remain, and that's, I mean, let's be real. They did not put very much effort in besides the Mirrorman bomb. That was a free mid for the side of Froyo. Oh yeah. Respawned all up, but second already pretty much taken. Full Uber out as well for the side of Froyotech. So looking to put a round on the board here and put themselves back in this game. Got the gun, got the sniper, getting built up.
They could just go now.
They could, but it's Froyo. It's a really big ad. They might try to spam it first. Doesn't look like they're really going to try to do that though. They're just getting buffed. They want to go towards the boxes side where Fruit is.
Yeah,
and
here's the Uber.
they're
Onto
running at them.
Habib. Banny, gotta pressure the gun. Kind of late to do that. The Uber's faded now, and there's no pressure. Banny's dead. And
Cap lays a carpet.
just walks forward.
Cap just laid a carpet on his feet and killed him. I mean, they tried to go through that side of the map. They really needed to cross early to get that gun, and we're not too quick at that. So with Jimmy at 29 HP, I mean, he got the pack, but he can't be with his team right now. Eric Wheat needs an arrow. WG in a pretty good spot. They're still dancing around. They're distracting. Banny weak. Think reset for bot mode though. Hubba almost has Uber. Donovan
Cap.
though gets capped. Hubba's alone. He's a 98. He dies for the melee at 98%. The Uber will not be there. Logan at 1 HP as well. Gonna get scattered down in the side of dungeon as WG. That looked so good in the beginning, but Donovan just does a simple bomb, gets caps, cleans up on the damage, and there's not a scout on the combo. I think both scouts were playing point or something. It's now Quacks. He's the only one that's really there to able to come through and defend the beginning until the respawn was coming from the side of WG. They're not going to lose the round yet, but they're not in a good spot right now. They've pretty much granted Froyotech another opportunity to go for a round here and put themselves on the board. They barely have time for a gun. It's level 1 and not even barely built up until right now. And the Uber's available. They're walking towards the different side to push into last to make something to kill immediately. Sniper still on the field. Might be able to get a body shot on someone, but no, we're not finding so much luck. Corner capping to their hearts, get 10 speed. He's done such a good job here. Just right back on it. He brought over Fruit, killed him, and now the heavy on the field is so weak as well. Needs an arrow. Arrow missed. Gotta heal that heavy up. Banny's still on the field though. Could chew him down. Able to get Quacks. They've lost a lot though.
Banny, what are you doing?
4v3. Oh, he just tries to catch it and walks on the stickies, and Jimmy gets flanked by the side of bot mode. Honestly, the beginning for Froyo, it looked pristine. Habib was playing it perfectly. Corner capped so much. Brought over Fruit. Corner capped again. Killed Fruit. It was looking like Habib was about to solo win for his entire team, but the tail end of things did not work in their favor. They got the cap skill at the tail end, but does not do enough for them as Donovan Spy is going to be the ticket here. He's chosen the correct pathway to walk and might be able to find something marvelous here for his team.
Sniper.
But,
look at this Highlander action, Jared. I mean,
oh, they're changing their mind.
Did Donovan bump there? The Uber's going to come out for Witness Gaming. They're just trying to get forward here, get the medic. Mirrorman is literally 3 health, but won't go down. Habib does fall. Mirrorman finds a pack. Donovan behind on Spy. They don't know. Honestly, the Uber might not even have been needed there. Oh, Donovan decloak?
Maybe soon, depending. He needs to find an angle. But
oh, right here.
Oh, no, he's doing it. Their team's pushing. They're distracted. He might be able to find the glory days here. Yeah,
it's free.
Oh, he turned around. He turned around. The bus players might be behind him and now runs away in the corner. Perfect timing from the side of Hubba. Just a classic. Let me make sure I can buff the dudes behind me. And who's that? I don't think that's the correct person. So really unlucky for the side of Donovan there. Too long of a walk. You really got to find the perfect decloak spot. And Sunshine only has so many of them. But at least Froyotech, despite losing a lot here and losing the point, do have an Uber of their own. They're going dungeon with Habib solo just because it is going to be pretty clean and they are successful getting on top of the platform without having to deal with any of the stickies the Cap has put up for their team. And since WG, they don't have too much positioning here to actually go for a force, the Uber's just barely arriving. Just going to go ahead and give it up, playing it safe. It's fine. We don't have to, play risky here. We'll have our Uber of our own. We'll just break the stalemate and moving over to Cafe to try to do so.
Yeah, bot mode and Cap coming forward with Hubba here. The bomb, though. Oh, Brute.
A two-man?
Finds a frag. The second bomb isn't enough. Such
9,
weak players.
8, and 11 HP. Banny,
Wow.
Beerman, and Donovan, but yet again, no frags. The focus fire. Some of these moments, it just needs to be way better from the side of WG. They are not going for the same target. And it is showing very hard here. Is even a frag or two could have meant that WG could have tried to hold on the mid, use the Uber's tool to buy time, get your respawners up, refight mid with player advantage, but no. They just have to lose it entirely. And now they have the Uber, yes, but now they've swapped all the way back, and the shoes on the other foot. Froyotech own mid. WG trying to hold onto their own too. Is Froyotech, they're opting to go choke side for at least now with a spam instead of Cafe like WG has been doing. For the most part, you can kind of see the rotations if they decide to go Valley, so I think teams are kind of shying away, at least for now, but eventually you gotta, push comes to shove, gotta try to go for it. They are going there now, it is known, so WG are responding in kind with a lot of spam over there, so definitely gotta get a really good high bomb going if you want to be able to get behind, but Mirrorman's able to find his way behind without very much threat whatsoever. The question is, what is he gonna be able to do while he's back there? Comes out the normal way, finds an opening! They've given up a lot though. Did not really work out. Spread damage all throughout. Quacks finds an opening on it. Jimmy, first rocket flying, second rocket surfed. 24 HP, does indeed have to use bot mode, giving up his life for it, but does indeed find the force. And overall, WG pretty happy with that, but Hubba gotta be able to get the pack. Gets it, but does indeed have to pop Donovan. Clutch for his team right there. With so few remaining, though, from the side of Froyotech, they got to play pretty careful here. They do have a player and respawner advantage here in Eric and Mirman coming back, and yeah, WG.
Oh, Fruit eats a pipe.
Down to the ground.
Not the skill shot there by Ben. He just had the spam pipe in the air, and Fruit will land in it. Habita jumps away. Mirman, one more rocket. Oh, but Habita got the pack.
They tied up Habita so much, though. Everyone out here doesn't really have heals, and that's going to be Quack. Anybody in the air will indeed die. 3v3 scenario, honestly, it could have been worse from the side of Froyotech and if they didn't be able to push Habita all the way back there. But all you could say that killing would have been much better, honestly. But either way, I mean, it's just going to kind of stabilize things. WG can't push into Froyotech's respawners, and Froyotech just decided that they can no longer push into WG's, so things are going to settle here. The dust will begin to fall, and WG will get their Uber of their own. Froyotech ad no longer really in play here. So back to the drawing board when it comes to trying to get a force out of either of these two teams. Trying to make some space through the choke side. Eric committing. The soldiers are poking around and spamming. They might get jumped, but they're jumping back and are safe for now. WG not really retaliating anyway quite yet. But for the most part, it's been Froyotech that has been full sending it, and WG not doing anything crazy, especially after what we saw at Metalworks where they took that crazy Uber in the hallway and it did not work out in their favor. So definitely makes sense that they're playing much more reactive here on the defense. So now the eyes are probably even more drawn to Froyotech to really get something going here. Because all this peeking in the world is not going to be bait enough for the side of WG.
Here's Miramat. No, not fully committing. He's in grasp, but Eric eats the pipe tap. Now the counter bomb. And Bandy is obliterated. 2 weak players for the side of Witness Gaming, but the Ubers are going to be exchanged. And Mirman is behind on 2. Donovan up in the air. Mirman, it's the hammer onto the anvil. Picking up the Habita frag. And wow, just Logan left alive here for Witness Gaming. Going for Jimmy, but doesn't clutch it out.
Yeah, way too greedy there with that chase. They recognize that, sure, there's only a couple of people left alive, but you only see 2 people on the combo. A lot of the times you see 2 people on the combo, you're like, okay, well, let's kill them. It's like a skeleton crew. But they chased into the choke, and that meant that they did not see the soldier coming from Cafe, nor did they see the soldier coming from Valley. And instead of pinching Froyotech, they get pinched themselves, just caught in a meat grinder and choke, and pretty much all die. Logan sealing the deal there at the tail end with his death. Froyotech gave up a lot for it, though. You know, it definitely makes sense that you know, the margins by which they win are very slim because, you know, WG was pushing for a reason. It was pretty advantageous at the beginning for them. So barely turning it around means they actually get to reclaim the opposing teams too, and they actually have an ad here to use. Going in deep, trying to find a way onto this gun. It's plagued them before. They got the kill in the Quacks instead, which is something to Banny. He's really deep, gets the gun. He might give up his life for this though. They've gotten a lot of cap brought everyone in, and Cap goes through, and Habita once again dies at 99%. How many times have we seen this man die at 95 blood?
Yeah,
I feel like it's been so much.
Few. It's certainly been more than the other side with how many times Habita's doing it, but that is Froyotech finally getting around here on map number 3. And Jared takes us to this mid.
Oh yeah, much quicker to mid, but he's sticking the door that no one's going, so it does not matter. Doman, such a fun class. Get aired up. Image is A-OK. Quacks. He lands on the roof and is immediately out of there, into the Valley side. He's not in the picture. This is Froyotech going to win this mid, probably, unless they overextend and don't focus fire. Into Valley. They give both their soldiers. They only kebab mode, though, and it seems like exactly what I said might be happening. I mean, they were in a good position. They got all that room for them, but WG, they should heal up and push here, probably. They have a player advantage. Ubers aren't in the equation quite yet, and yeah, here they go. They just need to make sure they were healthy, but they melted.
Wow!
Fruit, as soon as Fruit was in, they were out the server, basically. Dead in the water is, oh, execution error here, execution error there. Only human after all, and now WE find themselves a player down on their own too, as Dominus full sends it, damage on the Quacks, does not quite ring home
Quacks
there.
dodges the
Yeah, just jumping away, was afraid of the spam. But Froyotech's still out here. They recognize they put so much damage in with that bomb, they actually have so much room, enough to take the platform.
Mirror
might
juggled.
have to use the Uber to take it back. They lost Mirman though, that's huge for the side of WG. Pinned him to a corner, they have to leave now. Banny might, oh, he dies to a rocket.
Caught out again. Jimmy picks up the pack, but eats some more spam. And here's the push out of choke. Oh, but the Uber coming in. The exchange, Cap is gonna die.
Oh, but dropped his only target. Only Cap was there, and he just dies 2-shot. So the Uber doesn't actually do anything from the side of WG, so pretty good job from the side of Froyotech. I mean, you can't bank on a player getting dropped, but still, it works out 100% in their favor, and they bought time for the respawners as well. with the cap kill, that could be the thing they use to actually begin to push. Banny's not quite there yet, so it is 5v5 right now for like the next 5 seconds, and that could be the mistake they make if they're not too careful. Bombing in. Everyone's finally arrived, Caps and Banny. Overall, soldier trade. Covered up really weak though. Can't say the same for Jimmy as he rotates around to either side of Sunshine second. Trying to find a heal target. Not healing too much, but is pulling out some arrows. Mirrorman is behind, being a thorn in their side. Gotta be careful. Quax is weak as well, so unable to really participate as Mirrorman will be the one to fall here. So many weak health players on the side of WG though. They're playing in their own territory, but they gotta heal up. But healing up will allow Froyotech to find the retreat they need and actually get Logan on the tail end of things as well. But with that very fresh kill, they decide, never mind, we're healed. We got a fresh frag, we're going back in. Got Donovan, Eric as fresh respawners coming into the fight. Cap's so weak. Same can be said for Fruit, but they're actually taking so much damage trying to walk up here. Uber available for both these teams.
Jimmy
Bomb
in
comes
trouble.
in, Jimmy surfs it. There's no follow-up. Quacks tried to go for the force, but it's unsuccessful with 2 people down. And no positioning. They lost control of the platform. WG are just out of there. Back to last they go.
Yeah. Once you, sorry, I had just taken a sip of water. Once you give up platform there, you basically have to give up the point. Froyotech rushing in here, taking a lot of space. Eric is in for free. There's no gun on this side. It's a level 1 on point. It's actually going to pick up Donovan. Eric and Mirrorman in trouble behind Eric versus Logan. Eric gets obliterated. The damage out to Jimmy. This is enough to get the force. Habita staying alive, but in a corner right now. Habib going to get chased away. Eats a pipe on the escape. But still have the Uber on him, and Witness will walk out. Maybe? No. They stay.
Yeah, want to wait for the respawners. They can't watch all these doors. They only have 4 people. So if they did push out, make sure they can, make sure they're not going to get back capped or anything like that. But Logan's on the gun. All right, they're saying like, hey, our strength isn't leapfrogging. Our strength is holding and mid-fight. So we don't care that we have 60 ad. We literally, like, we couldn't care less. So, holding last is going to be the play. Jimmy will get an Uber of his own pretty soon as they're building up, realizing the situation they find themselves in. There's still some time on the clock, though. Froyotech, they have some room to move around and try to break this stalemate. They've been in the situation before and found success. Bot mode just checking for off classes, will not find any. He's going through the rounds, making sure there's no spy, no sniper. Don't think he'll commit onto it. Just going to try to hold on strong. Doesn't need to go for a drop play or anything. They want another mid-fight. But Froyotech, they've entered lobby, they're beginning to peek. Try to spam down caps, at least shoot him away so they can get to this gun. Bot mode will respawn on Pyro to begin reflecting some spam, keep the gun alive, as well as his medic. But how about to hold him back left? So people over by the barrel are not gonna be too healthy. Quack's immediately shoved away, has to back up. Is on battalions himself. So do keep that in mind. There might be a banner for the side of the red team. Some spam out of the gun, gets dropped really low. Bot mode definitely saving it. Trying to do his best to keep it alive, and Froyo are not really having too much luck here, spamming down the gun. A minute burned off the clock already. But like I keep saying, it's the first line of defense. It's really the first thing you gotta nail down. I talked before about you can maybe just try to avoid the gun on Sunshine, depending on which side it's looking. But there's nothing really for them on that other side of the map initially. Maybe you can find a kill on the Logan if you're lucky by hugging the little cylindrical pillar next to the point. That's about it, and that's what you're looking for. So, still playing this barrel side, the big open door.
Habib!
Bombing in.
Banny in trouble!
Okay, Donovan bombed in and did find Logan like I thought, but that's all he's gonna find. Trying to back up. Fruit on the chase, dies to cap and bot mode combination instead, as we have reached infinite overtime. A lot of frags on the field. Blind bomb from Mirrorman. The timing is perfect. He gets forced. Uber expended from the red team, and Jimmy has an Uber of their own, and I bet they're kicking themselves like, man, we didn't want to push, and then we decided to push, and now we get forced. So they cap this up. They're just resetting the clock for Froyo, and they're not going to be able to because the bomb comes in. Uber available, used, expended. Overall, just a trade for now. 1-for-1, able to kill Fruit, but have to give up speed in return. Banny, super aggressive, gets juggled. Is this going to be his end? But barely escaped. 16 HP, backed up, but not ready to push. They have a minute left. Got to heal up, got to get ready to go. And if anything, WG have ad. Froyo have to rebuild the entirety of their Uber. By the time they get it, there's going to be like, what, 20 seconds left or something or so? They are going to have very little chance to, get in, get a bunch of frags, get a little cap time. This has got to be abysmal for WG for them to lose this last. They got some damage on the Quack, which is something. The gun spam down, so there is no gun to prevent them from running in. Bomb coming in. A B will be a casualty, but maybe, so will Caps. They've pushed him back all the way to spawn. Resup's done and burning. Will not take out, but will eventually die to the rocket from Quacks, and they will expend the Uber though. So maybe classic Froyotech fashion, coming straight back in. And looks like they want to do the El Clasico coming in. Only a 3-man Uber though. Bot mode. He's putting in work. This heavy on the field hasn't been melted yet.
Point, rather.
Yeah. Yeah, Logan, he's so healthy though. It's looking like it's gonna be it. They're trying to fight, but no overtime means another mid fight here.
And so Witness could mid to last and win this here. It is first to 3 as infinite overtime rules make it that way. So
It's
a
kicking in
really
now.
good defensive hold, and now Witness Gaming, you know, their prospects looking a whole lot better. Looking to even the score on their map pick.
Yep, so we'll see how this mid ends. Bandy's been pretty faster than Cap so far, but at the end of the day, without a soldier going fast, the Demo Man's health is going to mean too much. As trying to ring out spam, WG last mid did a much better job at weakening the players before the initiation came in, but Donovan going to be the first one to drop a really, really low, basically out of the picture at least for now. But same can be said for a lot of players on the side of WG. Fruit will actually be the first one to fall here, as there is a small player advantage for the side of Froyotech. They're going to equalize soon as Mirrorman gets pistoled down. Weak players more so on the side of Froyotech. They got to get something here, arrows, packs, something if they want to continue on this fight, because even though it's 5v5, it's not going to have the presence of it. Donovan going for the long con, flanking through choke, might be able to find the timing here. They've rotated away from him, recognizing that he did indeed go behind, but they find Habib alone instead. So another player dead, and they've got to find a way to get out into the Valley Air without accidentally forcing him. Recognize is going for the Uber exchange. Logan is going to get dropped. Uber is expended.
Cracks on Donovan.
In a 1v1.
He wins it.
Does win, but will get cleaned up by the side of Eric.
Jimmy dead.
And yeah, they're getting wiped here. Mirrorman, last one surviving, rolling out to his death as Beeb will be the last respawner here. Up on Sniper, maybe a miracle shot. There's a lot of people up for the side of WG, but he sees the ×5. He knows there's very few people here, if at all, and he is indeed correct. So just has to be careful because his team is not quite here yet.
Oh,
Gets a
nice
kill.
bounty shot onto bot mode.
That'll help.
Rotate
He's
lower
being
now.
greedy. He's staying here. Not gonna
Yeah, I
commit
went
for
for
him,
the
though.
soldier.
Honestly, Froyotech could probably fight this potentially. But yeah, they're poking out.
He hits
Another
Cap!
kill on the Cap. This is working out really well for the side of Froyotech. They got 3 overall. Quax is behind, finds the sniper, eliminates him. But overall, pretty heads-up play. You know, you gotta have the confidence there to sit there and be like, yeah, I'm alone, it's fine. I'll kill the first person. I'll kill the second person as well. And that kind of flips the script. And now Froyotech find themselves taking mid. They don't have an ad to work with. If anything, WG are on the move over towards the Valley side, it looks like, to begin to push. But Mirrorman at the choke, eating some damage, means he won't be healthy enough to actually stop this. It's only really Donovan that could bomb into Valley side right now, but he's not ready. He's actually getting pressured as well, so with both slurs really unavailable, they're going to be hard pressed to get a force here. In fact, Mirrorman might die.
Oh, great bomb with Domino!
They're on top of each other. They get this force, but for 3, maybe even 4, depending if the sticky hits. No, Banny gets arrowed, but both scouts on top of each other. Donovan eventually gets the force, but Froyotech, hot water right now. Not going to have enough in the tank to really hold on to 2. Probably will have to go back to last. I mean, they have their scouts coming soon. Maybe they could block. It's taking them a bit. The sticky's all over point. But, well, they could maybe go for something. Especially with how aggressive they are. Yeah, they're going for it. Over towards the Valley side. Maybe he's trying to find a target. They're not sure that they want to go for it. They actually went behind, found themselves Eric. They're lingering by the
Wax
attack
is gonna
area.
get rolled. Oh,
Yep.
Logan to last? No.
It bought so much time for them to reclaim the platform, though. So red team, they exited, and then they entered. But they lost too many players, though, and they might lose Fruit as well. Bomb from Donovan.
Donovan onto the medic!
Oh,
Doesn't
gets
get the pack!
It's fine for now, though, but not the rest of the team. Have to back up through Cafe area, so Beeb's on the chase. And Froyotech, a little back and forth, but overall pretty successful play to find themselves back on their own 2, but Uber still available for the side of Hubita, so still a leapfrog.
Yeah, leapfrog. We haven't seen too much leapfrogging here, but with Witness Gaming now just in control of the mid, they have this Uber, but I guess not going for it because they figure it's going to be even.
So they had 2 respawners. If you don't wait for your respawners, you're just going to get flanked and not be able to post or get killed or shove them out. But if you do wait for your respawners, which they did, then your Uber's gone. So it wasn't actually a leapfrog. Froyotech did enough damage and got enough kills to make it so they couldn't actually immediately use their Uber as soon as they got it. So they won by just enough margin. Fruit bombing in, damage on the Eric, will eventually die. Unsuccessful there, just damage to write home about. As Donovan, Mirrorman, kind of on the move. More so Donovan than Mirrorman, but now he's starting to poke around through either side of the flank as well. Combo right in the center. Trying to lock things down the best they can for the side of WG, but no one's committing. Didn't look good enough. The Valley side was pretty locked down. Same can be said for Cafe, and it's not like the combo wants to just walk through choke. They really want to just buy some room for one of their soldiers to get through. So, Witness Gaming pretty successful at locking things down, making it look hard for Froyotech, and respawning back on Soldier, this Fruit, so we'll continue to see the Soldiers trying to make space for each other and try to get a bomb on a Jimmy.
Dude, I don't know if you're watching chat, but big things happening. Thank you guys all so much. That was wicked, but this match has definitely been a good one. Fans are excited about it as Witness Gaming pressuring a bit forward here. Bot mode going to be going around the staircase area. The Soldier in eats a lot of damage. Donovan dead though to Quacks. Now Fruit trades out. Be very weak. Logan weak. Cap dead. Witness
Quacks
won't find much, but Quacks. Oh, he wanted to go deep.
3v5. Honestly, the spawns aren't too bad for the side of Sunshine, but considering those deaths are so fresh, it ends up not mattering at all. So Froyotech just walking in, waltzing in with the player advantage. WG don't want any of that, and tables turn once again. They did not get their forward. I think Froyotech know that. It is a 64. Their entire squad's here, and this is a pause.
This is a pause. Wow.
Well, it's either Froyotech wins this in 90 seconds. I mean, it's even Ubers, so they got to do something really good here. I guess WG hold this and try to hold it, but they don't have their whole team here yet, especially 2 projectiles. Froyotech could maybe snowball off of a good push here and then get around and then it's tied and then WG tack or something. Or it could just be another tech. It's one of those times where it's like, as soon as you see one tech happen, you're like, oh, it could happen again.
Oh, yeah.
Especially when it's like lag, you know? Like if someone ever pauses for someone's internet, it's like in the back of your mind, like, oh, I hope that was a one-time thing.
Right. ISPs can be finicky at times, for sure.
But this is scary for WG. They're holding this on the platform, but right now it's only a 64 when it comes to trying to hold doors. Donovan and Eric are approaching their flank side. The entire combo of Froyotech is at the choke, and they're gonna probably end up needing to put all their pressure onto the choke side, and they're gonna have to neglect like Cafe or honestly, they're probably gonna ignore Valley, and Donovan will just high bomb in and get the force out of Hubada. I think Froyotech know that they're not trying to go for an exchange here because they know this player advantage is something to work off of. So if Donovan can get in clean, he's just gonna do so. This pause is making me inclined to believe that he'll be able to get a force, and then Froyotech will just not use and have ad. But anything can happen. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll find out eventually. Dolphin hasn't given us word yet, so I assume the players aren't communicating it very well. But this was even, right?
Yeah, it's even.
Okay.
It's just player ad because WG have 2 people that aren't there.
Pause.
Yeah. Okay, they're here now. They're able to hold the doors, but Froyotech are already pretty much in, so it's pretty much a scrappy fight. They've lost the platform. Bobo still kind of wants to fight this. But healing them down. Eric piped by the side of Cap, so 1 person down. Donovan really weak as well. Got that frag. Dropped Logan though. Overall, family Uber happening by the side of Cafe. Flashes all around as Froyotech is trying to leave. Habib might not be able to escape. Oh, just barely.
Wow.
Getting to move. Advantage for the side of WG in the players, but got to be careful though. They're down Logan, and if they take too long, Eric and Donovan will respawn as they have now. And will try to fight, getting the Mirror Man kill. Very, very important. I think Froyotech realized that it might be a bit too hard to full-on fight here. They're trying to poke around at least a little bit. They're not going to give it up completely, but yeah, with Donovan not being able to initiate in, I guess he's trying now. They're slowly edging themselves forward, actually. They're failing to lock down the Valley side. It was pretty much everyone through one door to spare Donovan, and yet WG kind of flopped, holding that down, and now they're just falling like dominoes. Maybe this is, I think we're kind of right, and this was probably attack, as things are not looking too good for the side of WG. It's just Cap left alive, bot mode respawning. He has to solo this versus what, like 4 players? He knows his only option is to try to find a way to block Donovan on 2, which is really heads up, but will he win the 1v1? He's here, surprise shot. But get the first shot, but does die. They've wiped the Muron last, and that is a successful play from the side of Froyotech to be able to turn things around, tying it up 2-2. There's the pause. That was indeed attack, if I've ever seen one. As Froyotech, they're 1 round away from being the champions of Season 13 here in this Grand Finals. Well, WG, they definitely need to get a map on the board if they want to keep themselves alive. This was their pick, but they've already lost a pick of theirs before, so we'll have to see what happens and what could potentially be, barring no, mid resets, the final mid of the night.
I don't know if I was reading it correctly, but I think that might have been a Banny pause. Unsure. Logan gonna get obliterated here. Donovan dies to Hubada's arrow. Banny's super weak, but 3 down for Witness on this mid as Banny cleans up Quacks with a pipe.
What is this cafe roll up? It rolled out through cafe, exploded through it over towards the valley side, and caught WG totally off guard. This is not something you normally see. Mirrorman, him making plays what you normally see though, but he does not find success. How about a 11 HP? He's trying to clean up. Habib will not be able to get the frag though. So Habita will live to fight another day as we find ourselves with WG on their last, just inches away from having everything just fall from out of their grasp. They had such a stranglehold in the beginning of the week over the side of Froyotech, but everything has slowly turned, slowly but surely, in Froyotech's favor. And while this match
out on Spy.
Yeah, while
Eric
this
up
match
on Sniper.
is a bit of a slobber knocker, it is definitely looking like Froyotech could have what you need to seal the deal here. Bot mode Spy, it's got to go huge here. They need something to turn themselves around. I don't know if a mid reset is going to be able to do it because Froyotech are looking pretty hot right now. Eric on Sniper. It is no surprise shot because bot mode did see it. It's still a threat nonetheless, so we'll see who's able to get the first pick out of both these pick classes. Decloaked might just walk through the shutter, thinking about it. First shot on the fruit. Yeah, the trigger's been pulled. He gets the stab though. Gets it. Yeah, but so many died on the side of WG though. They lost 3 overall. Bob Mode gave up his life, and Logan, no engineer, no gun. The force comes out. They don't have enough in the tank to chase them down. Soldiers just jumping around all over the place, and no scouts to knock them out of the air. Habib just running in, saying, "I don't give a care. I'm going in before ready." Gets a kill on the cap. Damage on the quack enough to clean him, but Beerman, or Donovan rather, will be able to jump in and get that frag. Fruit trying to hold on for dear life. Beerman bombs him.
Logan needs to touch.
Both scouts on top of the point. Eric with
the
melee
sniper
down.
melee.
Only one left alive. Logan is dead. Froyo have done it. They have won. Sunshine 3-2. They've turned things around after an eventful past couple of days and have definitely shown that when push comes to shove, they have what it takes to be championships, just to take the championship just like last season. Wow. I think you ask a lot of people what the result would have been after seeing what's been happening the past couple days. This is not the story that people would have led with, but it is the story that we are indeed seeing. Once again, the Froyotech name keeping up to its legacy, getting another championship under its belt. A nice send-off for the side of Donovan if this is indeed his last season for a while. And Froyotech gonna definitely be all smiles, while WG, they can only ask themselves, it was going so good, what went wrong?
What went wrong indeed? I have the logs, I don't know about you, and I am seeing a top damage of 322. Oh, sorry, no, cap 416?
Somehow, no matter what the situation is, Caps just finds himself being like in the 300 and 400 DPM club, like topping the charts almost past everyone else. I don't know what he's...
28 frags too.
I don't know what he's eating in the morning, but he needs to share his secret and tell everyone else because, you know, pretty insane. But obviously, regardless, not quite enough to pull out a victory here as, you know, the rest of Froyotech are definitely putting in work as well. Donovan, the sacrificial lamb there, actually top deffing the server, but it ends up not really mattering as it was enough distraction to allow them to collect the victory here on Sunshine. Pretty close game, though. So honestly, like, you look at some of the stats,
like med deaths even pretty close there.
For the most part, there's the only big difference I'm seeing is Caps getting kills and Banny not. But then again, like, it's, you know, it doesn't really matter that much. If that's the only thing, then who cares, right?
Froyo, fewer frags and less damage, but does get the win.
It shows the margin by which you win by. You don't need to get that. If it is, you don't need to get that many frags if you can get point after point after point based on what you do. And I think we saw a plethora of Hubita deaths at like anywhere between 95 to 99%. So that'll really seal the deal there. But
well, we got interviews coming in from Donovan, Habib, and Mirrorman. Gentlemen, well done. How does it feel to be back on top of Invite?
All right. Well, so let's make this a story. Let's talk about Metalworks, because Metalworks is a map. For some of you, you've maybe played more Metalworks than you have an entire season, and more that you would prefer to, depending on your preference of maps. But I think it's definitely a slow and surefire show of improvement over the course of the week. Can you give us a little bit of insight on your journey on that map in particular, and how you started it, you know, trying to really work your hardest to just try to claw your way back to get rounds on the board, to just completely full sweeping the same opponent over and over again?
Definitely took some work. We struggled on the map, but treated it as a learning experience, you know. And we actually earlier today in the lower bracket final intentionally picked Metalworks, knowing that it was likely we'd play it in the grand finals. So we kind of treated that as even more practice. So it was a map that we realized that we played poorly on, and we made it a priority to identify a lot of the issues, and it took a lot of iterations, but eventually we figured it out when it mattered most.
What do you think was the biggest thing that you changed over the course of the week? Not just map specific, but within your own team, because there were a couple different maps that were kind of hard. Even the victories that you would get in some of the BO3s were hard fought, so they definitely weren't any slashes at the beginning. But you surely changed at least a couple things to have such a clean sweep on the first two maps of this BO5, right?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it's mids, and then besides that, it was just avoiding the major mistakes. I think every player in our team kind of knew where we tend to fuck up, so we're putting a lot of effort into reminding ourselves about that, to not make the same mistakes that we're throwing rounds. Obviously, it got hairy and it got messy at sometimes, but overall, we avoided the major round losing mistakes. And then mids, I think, are often the decider as well. I think in our previous match against Witnessing on mids, we were just getting shut out, and so we had a better chance here. I think we had different focus fire as well. That was a big part of it. Is Caps basically just farms his DPM and we ignore him and kill everyone else. So
I had to lock in, stop the feed. You feel me? Habib feed. You feel me? Very liable.
I'll just say this. Yesterday, Jimmy did not have that dog in him. Low-key, he was cosplaying as a certain player. It sucked his fucking energy. It sucked his energy. 5 drops. That's all I had to say. Guess what? After the match, we watched the demo. I said, Habib, me and you, Shaq and Kobe tomorrow. And guess what?
Wallahi,
Guess what? Modern day, brown clockwork, Asian free state. That's all I have to say.
I'm black.
yeah, Habib played well. Eric did well. Eric has been he's been kind of like a mentor of sorts to our team. He comes in, he's kind of like the coach. He's like not tolerating the bullshit. He gives us a clear answer, a clear vision. We were in the locker room. He's got the blackboard. He's drawing all the diagrams.
I said in the middle of the match, Rocket, or this was yesterday, I said, Rocket, you sound fucking depressed. Wake the fuck up.
Listen, Rocket was a boy yesterday. He's a man today. Especially
Rocket
after
was-
that Uber saw on Gully.
That was when he became a man, bro.
That was right then and there. His balls dropped 30 centimeters on the ground. He had to pick them back up.
Rocky, you got your first victory now under your belt. Can you tell me a little bit about what this week was like for you, kind of coming on the up and up, just getting better and better, and finally sealing the deal, getting your first championship?
Honestly, it means the world to me because I've always dreamed of playing at the top level for the longest time, ever since I started playing competitive sixes back in 2017, I believe. So it's been almost a 6-year journey, and honestly, it still feels surreal that I was able to play for Froyotech, and got the victory tonight, and able to pull through and close the season out strong with the boys. And yeah, I had my moments tonight in the grand finals. The cap on last was definitely the highlight.
On Gullywash, yeah, we were all fucking screaming. That was crazy. But yeah, Rocket, going into the playoffs, I think he was feeling some nerves, and I think that thankfully we were able to take a loss and use that as a learning experience, and then kind of come in as a with a better mindset for today. I think that ultimately, even though yesterday was rough, it was necessary, I think, for Rocket to face that kind of situation in order to learn from it.
Mirman, you're pretty on point throughout most of the week, even in some of the losses. Were you able to eventually catch up on some of the patterns after playing some of the same teams over and over again to make it even easier to pull out these really high pressure salvaging moments to either slingshot your team even further to victory or turn things around early on to keep yourselves in the game?
We basically all of the matches we played throughout playoffs, we actually ended up rewatching most of the demos and talking about things we wanted to change going into each match. Basically, almost every single match we did, we kind of had a separate idea of how aggressive versus how passive we wanted me to play on mids. And in team fights, over the course of it, because if you saw in winners finals, there was a bunch of times where WG just 2-man through flank, and I would just end up kind of dying into them, and they would just get 2 behind, and then it would just be a disaster from there on out. And some of the changes we made are hey, just make sure, like, if you're holding a choke alone or like a flank alone, make sure you're not like overcommitting to that, because if you do, you'll just die and it will be in a bad spot. And like also like additionally, both me and Donovan, I think, both had this issue. We were dying with too many of our bombs. I think today in particular we were just playing to live more and just like fade instead of just trying to get a commit kill, maybe a trade out or something, and just like try just to push them out of things rather than like fully committing. Of course, I found a couple salvages throughout the day, but that's just something that happens. This is how it is.
I'm gonna keep it a buck. Like, by the way, I don't know what you guys thought on the cast from the league, but I'm actually on Pocket Scout, not Flank Scout. I know it's hard to tell, but that's another thing that goes to show that like this is like my first, basically like season of Scout ever. Like I have virtually zero experience. So
He's glazing himself. Pay no attention. He's glazing himself.
Listen.
No,
Hear me out.
he got the
Banny,
critique on the. He got the critique.
Banny and I had to work out a lot of things. Like I'm talking like him. You know, you guys know how it gets on the street
Habib
sometimes.
don't die, Habib don't feed, Habib don't run into traps, Habib don't get sniped,
The mental
Habib don't die
fortitude
to a
from
sentry
Habib though
gun,
was
Habib don't die to
crazy.
a pyro, Habib don't get backstabbed.
No, I'm not gonna lie. Every time I'm dying, I'm just saying Habib. Everyone just screaming Habib. Like I felt like Atlas. The entire fucking planet is on my shoulders. Like on no cap. Literally, everyone's screaming. I could have tilted. I could have literally just gotten so mad. I could have just thrown
My
that off.
Pookie never
Half
tilts.
the time, Habib, I can tell he's just like, I'm telling him, Habib, please, and he's just ignoring me. He goes forward, but he gets the kills, and then it's okay.
Hey, I'm
Yeah,
not gonna lie.
but I had
Our pregame scrim, we almost died. We
We
Manny
literally
said something.
almost-
Habib
we
said,
literally-
"Shut the fuck up."
I literally told Manny, shut the fuck up.
Habib,
Why
you
did I
gotta
pick
earn
you?
that.
I
gotta earn
hate
that.
you. Leave.
Habib, if you're a Chad combo scout, you can do that, but you're not there yet.
Donovan, after a win like this, clawing back after a lower bracket run, any chance that that's enough to tip you over to maybe this isn't such a send-off season for you? Got one more in you, or is it sealing the deal?
Oh, I didn't know that was out. Yeah, that's it for me.
You said it yourself
gotta-
on your stream. What do you mean?
Oh, I guess
Wait, I
so.
also want to say something.
JJ.
Yo,
With the
you
man
know, I
talk?
also had to, carry on the skis and Zilly legacy for
Oh my
the
God, let's
Asian,
go,
the Asian
dude.
medics. Let's go.
Yeah.
All I'm
I'm
saying
getting
is if
proud.
WG pulled out a single
Hold on.
skis mid, they would have won that.
Now just get RGL perma, just get perma banned on RGL, and you'll
It's
you'll
true.
carry on the Froyo legacy.
Bandy, I have one question for you. What
Mhm.
class are you playing next season?
Yeah, I basically roll a dice and find out, but I play for what my team needs. I guess our team needed Habib on scout this season, so
They did not
We really
beat me on
didn't.
scout.
We really
They
didn't.
They did not.
We really didn't.
but next season, I mean, we'll see. Obviously
I think next season is Habib Soldier.
there's some things to figure out, but I'm looking forward to it. Definitely in an optimistic mood at the moment. We'll see how things play out, but can't answer that quite yet. But I'll keep you guys updated when we can.
Any MVPs ring to your mind after everything's said and done? Who
Um,
pulled all the stocks?
I think
man.
Jimmy played great all of
Yeah.
today.
I think
Yesterday,
Jimmy,
Jimmy, I would say
Jimmy-
myself.
Jimmy was
I'm not gonna
making
lie.
himself.
I would
think
say
Jimmy played
me and
amazing
Habib.
today.
Honestly, co-MVP, me and Habib. Shaq and Kobe, yes, no
Shaq and
thoughts.
Kobe, Shaq
Michael
and Kobe.
Jordan, Scottie
Shaq and
Pippen, LeBron, AD. Name
Honestly,
it, bro.
honestly,
We
I'm-
might be
I'm-
the next Squid and Enigma. That's all I'm gonna say.
Actually, I think MVP is Brandslam for not joining the server.
Oh, thank God.
Yo, shout out Branson, bro.
Shout out Travis Scott.
Oh.
Is that Travis Scott?
Yeah, Travis Scott. Yeah.
Travis Scott.
I'm just glad Logan survived the concert.
Yeah. I hope he had a good time.
I want to go at the end of this December.
My MVP is Habib, bro. The mental fortitude to play Pocket Scout when your demo is Banny, it's phenomenal. Like, I would have quit right on the spot.
I just
I
needed to
would've
not
quit right
yell
on
at
the spot.
me. If
What?
I'm getting yelled at, it's sad.
Bro,
I get sad.
mid-season, hey guys, mid-season, I had to
no.
message me, yo, leave my Pookie alone. Like, he's sensitive, right? Trust me, at the beginning of the fucking season, Habib was getting the beating. Habib was getting the beating, bro.
No, I was literally like the team dumpy, as they call it. They call it
Habib
team
was the
dumpy.
team dumpy, but he was
I
dropping.
It was like
well,
but it was like worse than back when I used to be on demo. Like on demo, like I would just
okay,
destroy
but the thing is,
everything.
bro, Habib
And we would drop 40 kills, but also drop 30 deaths.
Habib would have the least deaths, but would just die at the wrong times, man. It's crazy. It's crazy. He's actually, like, his parents might be...
No, don't say it.
I'm just kidding.
It started with a Habib
Parents might be
medic
very
match,
proud of him too.
and then it all
Oh my
spiraled out of
God,
control from there.
How the fuck did I end up on medic? Somebody explain that. Bro, who would love that shit?
That was the match of all time. That was
My serves are
Oh.
dirty though. I can't.
That
That
was
was the
awesome.
match of the
Oh.
season. Habib was medic. I think.
Yeah, damn.
That
We
was
should have
bad.
kept that
me.
roster.
B Medic was. Yeah, we should have kept
We
Patty
had-
too, bro.
we
Hey,
had-
you guys
we
would have got
had-
third. I'm not
We
gonna lie.
had Logan. We had Logan initially. He was
Third
on our
place.
team.
I don't care. Third place.
Oh
I
yeah,
don't
that's
care.
right. Logan decided to go
Decided
back
to
to
get second
WG.
place.
Yeah, I respect it.
Well, it was because of that I was able to get a ring for myself.
This is a Mickey ring.
Guess
Rocket.
it all worked out in the end.
A ring is a ring, man.
No,
I'll
okay,
take
this
it.
ain't Mickey. This ain't Mickey. It would have been Mickey if Habib and Vanny swapped, but this is a
I
fair
worked,
win.
I
We'll take
worked
that.
hard for it. It was hard earned.
Okay, I'm gonna keep it buck. If me and Banny switched, we literally would have lost. Like unironically.
Not a chance.
Wallahi.
What do you
play
what do you
demo.
think that'd be?
I don't play demo, dude. I don't even know how to shoot stickies anymore.
You
like,
wouldn't even
literally-
have to. I would be on scout and they'll just all die.
No, that's not true. I literally can't play demo anymore. Like I've
It's like,
lost
oh,
it. I've
wax,
lost
two
it.
shot, fruit, two
Hey
shot.
Jared, do you remember back when?
Oh,
do
Uber
you,
micro.
Do you guys remember when Zuko lost his firebending?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
you?
I have to
Wait,
find the fucking
Habib,
source.
look at the stats, dude. You and I are literally Kobe and Shaq.
Oh my god,
Is this
72 virgins.
combined?
I had a kill for every virgin in heaven. Let's go.
Wait, you prayed.
I had a kill for every
but
virgin
Habib,
in
you
heaven.
barely went damage positive. Look at me though. Look at me. You barely went damage positive.
Why would I do damage?
But you see how much damage you're taking? That's how you're fucking dying.
Oh
Lay
no,
off
it's
him,
starting
Rick.
all
Come
over
on,
again.
Man. Lay off him. You're Pookie.
I love every graphic having Habib as flank scout. It always makes me giggle.
Dude, that shit is so funny. I love how it says I'm on flex.
I mean, it was
Oh
starting to
my
looking like you guys
God.
are running double flank scout in the beginning of things. But
Might as well, man. Might as well. We did double flank, double combo, flex, whatever.
Listen, Pookie. Let me cook.
any other questions from you, Godfather?
No, that's it for me. I say we go on to shoutouts.
Yep. Eric, any final shoutouts?
I'll shout out my Pookie. I'll shout out Rocket. I'll shout out my team. That's it. I'll shout out you guys. Chat. Thank you all the Froyo supporters. Yesterday was a fluke. Glad we stepped up today.
Okay, we had 5 games
Oh,
to warm
hey,
up.
this is my last season. I'm out this bitch. Unless, I get the call. The bat signal's up.
that's what they'll
I
say.
might return.
All
Who
right,
knows?
next season, let's make that call. No, I'll give some shout outs. First, I want to say thanks to our team sponsor, manco.store. They have supported our team to the last LAN, and they're still supporting us. So check them out. If you are into TF2 items, you can buy everything there. Shout out to Rocket for stepping up today. Everyone on the team for stepping up. Habib for having thick skin, and for
And
doing
even
what-
thicker meat.
for tapping in, for locking onto them. Good shit. And then shout out to Patty for starting the season. And GG to everyone. GG to WG.
GG's to WG.
What about you, Donovan?
Shout out to the Ether Mumble and thanks to Froyo and Banny for the past year. It's been fun.
Habib?
Shout outs to you guys killing it on the cast and the production as always. Shout outs to the viewers. Shout outs to the Froyotech supporters as always. Shout outs to the haters. You guys are too funny. Oh God. And shout outs to WG. My big dog Logan, especially. And Batman. So
What about you, Jimmy?
First of all, I would like to shout out to my teammates, Froyo, for I guess especially Banny for reaching out to me and giving me a chance to play on the team and a chance to prove myself, and I hope that I did that by getting this dub for the team. And I also want to shout out to all the people that supported me and believed in me along the way. And
Justice for Jimmy.
yeah, and am I allowed to curse? Like say drop an F bomb or
It's
no?
already been done. It's already been done.
Yeah, I
Okay,
broke
yeah,
that seal.
I just want to say fuck the haters.
Hell yeah.
you can suck
Go
it
ahead
dry,
and name some. Go ahead and name some.
And no, I'm not gonna name names, but yeah,
pussy.
fuck the haters, and I appreciate all the love from the people who support me and our team.
Mirror Man?
I don't got much to add outside of what's been said, but shout outs to Marmaloo. I love that guy, and I miss him.
shout outs to Marmalusu. Yeah, no cap.
It was pretty cool. My shoutouts are to you, Jarrett, for such an incredible season of casting. It was great to be on these last playoff casts with you. To Dolphin, of course, for the excellent production. TC for stepping up to cast as well this towards the end of playoffs. Shout out Just Jazz's dad. If you want to see more of my casting, twitch.tv/strongest caster. I'm covering AM, Sixes, and Highlander, and God, it's hilarious. Jarrett, what do you got?
Definitely shout out to all the teams that participated in Invite this season and everyone who watched along the way, everyone that subbed in for production and casting purposes. And of course, the classic shout out to the merch is available, shop.rgl.gg. Only so much time remaining until it is going to be gone. It is seasonal after all. But and shout out to I think Highlander is being played tomorrow, so there's gonna, I think it's bracket bust, but it is gonna be 9:30 Monday as always. So definitely don't want to miss that. It is playoffs. So if you're interested in that, and definitely go for it because it will definitely be there here on RGL. But it was a really good season. Some ups and downs, some really close games, and quite a story to tell of a lower bracket run through another championship under Froyotech's name. And I can't wait to see what will be happening next year after all the shuffles and we get to another season right underneath us going through, and it'll be surely just as good as the ones before it. But for this month and for this year, it will go ahead and wrap things up. This has been Season 13. Thank you so much for watching. I have been Jarrett, casting with Godfather, with Dolphin on production. Thank you, and good night.
Peace.
Peace.